All right, let's jump in. It's DJ Falling Up G back with Best Friend Strangle Dangles, David and Paul, for another album review. Couple weeks, I think, just 2 weeks after our Hours review, maybe three. We'd been kind of pre-listening to this one since we took a while to get to Hours, so we're getting back to it quick. I'd already listened to this one, I think like at least five, maybe like 6 or 7 times by the time we did the Hours review. So we're kind of ready to go here quick, and it's a fun change of pace from Hours certainly. So and let me actually do the thing where I share my screen with you, so you can see what I'm showing, which I forgot to do
Oh,
last
okay.
time. That's why this is different. Okay, let me mess with this real quick. That would probably help. Share entire screen. Probably gonna have to move your
Beautiful.
down here. Yeah, now you can actually see me. Last time you never got
Got
to
it.
do that. Okay, and then nope, that's not what I want to do. Okay, I'll figure out how to make your image a little bigger at some point on this call, maybe. That's okay.
But yeah, don't worry about it.
I mostly just don't want it to be this thing here. Anyways, let's jump in. I'm all flustered. Paul's already been dealing with me being like, oh, I'm behind. I didn't finish my review. I didn't type this out beforehand, so it's the least prepared I've been for one of these. Even though I did listen to the album a lot, and I'm prepared to share my thoughts ad nauseum as per usual. But I was a little less prepared for the practical elements. So, but yeah, we're doing Hot Mulligan this time. The band Hot Mulligan, the album the sound a body makes when it's still. And I was actually correct on something, and that Paul was slightly wrong. And I was like, I think this is actually a pretty timely album review. And he thought this album came out in maybe May, but no, this album did come out in August. So we're actually kind of on top of things. It'll be fun to get a few more of these, I think, in rotation as we just do more and don't have like, initially when we started, we obviously weren't like trying to start off doing these album reviews with like a new thing. We started with like some stuff that we both picked for the other to listen to. But now that we've done a good handful, it's fun to do one that you just happen to be listening to. I'd already listened to Hours a million times, and you told me you were listening to this one quite a bit. And I was like, let's just do that one as our next review. I can get a jump on it before we get to the Hours review. Um, so I'll just real quick do the usual, like, kind of brief background for me, because in this case it is pretty brief, of how I know Hot Mulligan, which is, I can't remember, I think it was probably last year at this point. Yeah, I think it was 2020, maybe even 2023, but I think 2024.
I think it
They
was last year.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say they had some songs that I don't know if they were even brand new in 2024, but they were relatively new. They had like a couple, like what ended up being an EP, a few singles that came
Yeah.
out, and you were like, oh hey, you should listen to these. These are fun. These are pretty cool. So, and, like their song names, we'll get to their song names at some point, but I don't like. I think one of them was called "End Eric Sparrow and the Life of Him," and one of them was
Yep. Stickers of Brian.
Stickers of
Yeah.
Brian. Yeah, yeah.
That
Those
was
two.
the
Those
warmer weather
Yep.
EP.
So, and I didn't even listen to the third one off that. I only ended up listening to the first two. I think the third one
Okay.
wasn't like out yet, and I just never came back to it. But I listened to the other two,
Yeah.
and I definitely enjoyed them. Like they were good, and I'll talk about that a little bit as we get into this. Pretty unique style, and then basically didn't really listen to them more because was listening to other stuff and didn't feel like I had a super big reason to. And then like now this album came out, and you were like, I think at one point you also told me to listen to the single Proto theme because you thought it reminded you of Emery. So I listened to
Yeah.
that, and I immediately liked that a pretty good bit. It is pretty different than all their other stuff,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
more
For
heavy
sure.
and more Emery reminiscent, like you said. But then that's all I knew, and then coming to this album I was like, oh, they have a new album. I'll go into it, and so I would say I came in pretty optimistic. I was going to enjoy it, but definitely didn't didn't know, is this going to be something that like I love, or is it just going to be kind of like a something that I like, where's it going to land when I listen to a lot more of it for a lot longer time, was a pretty big unknown for me, kind of, other than like I knew I probably wasn't going to hate it. So yeah, how did you get to know the band? Was it with those same singles, or did you know them before that?
Yeah, so I think the first song I heard, I think it was, if I remember right, it just came up on a YouTube suggestion randomly, and it was Equip Sunglasses, which is
Yeah,
one
that's
of the,
their highest played song, I think,
that's like their most listened to single,
which is
and
an
it's
awesome
off their
song name.
yeah, yeah, right. It's off their 2020 album. And I really liked that song. And the music video was striking. So it
Oh,
that
interesting. I didn't watch
that
the video. I should.
yeah, it was just fun, you know. And that led me to explore the band a little bit. And from there, um, I think I can't remember if the EP, the warmer weather EP, was already out at that point. or not. But I think I might have listened to a couple more songs and like been like, okay, this band's kind of cool. I'll kind of keep an eye on them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember the Stickers of Brian was the first.
Oh, that was the first one?
That was the first.
Oh, I thought that was the second one. Okay. I
That
thought
was
the
first
End Eric
Warmer
Sparrow was the
Weather
first one.
song that came out, and they made a music video for that too, and that also came up on my YouTube feed, and I saw that and I was like, oh man, this song is crazy good. I love this, and so then I kept up with them from there, and I love that EP. I still love that EP a ton. And from there, I listened to their full album, Why Would I Watch, from 2023, and I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as the EP. And then I went back and listened to their 2020 You'll Be Fine album, and I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as their 2023 album, and I didn't like it as much as their EP. So I'm like, okay, to me, at least for my personal tastes, they're getting better as time goes.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to keep an eye on what they do.
Yeah.
Is basically where I was at
Yeah.
leading into this album.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I didn't have all that background. I was
So
unsure if you'd listened to anything other than that Warmer Weather EP.
I've listened to their 2020 album. Now, granted, I've listened to it probably, 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
I haven't like totally dove in on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2023 album, pretty similar. I've probably listened to it like 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
Haven't totally dove in on it. There's a couple songs that I like, and there's a lot of songs that I'm like pretty whatever on.
Mm-hmm.
But the Warmer Weather EP, which when they first released it, there wasn't a lot of information on it, so I thought it was going to be just part of a new album.
A full length, yeah. That's kind of what I thought. That's kind of what I was waiting for, to like maybe give it a little more, and then I was like, oh, it was only 3 songs. I already listened to 2 of them. Like, whatever, I'm not going back to it.
Yeah. I thought that was gonna, and I'll talk about that once we start talking about the new album, because it's interesting, because I think that EP is actually pretty different, or at least a little different stylistically than the new album.
Yeah.
And,
the 2 songs I know from it, which, so there's only one other one. That's definitely accurate, I would say.
Yeah. And I really liked how much more like heaviness and screaming they were incorporating in the EP, and that's part of what, not the only thing, but part of what really drew me to the EP was like, oh, they're really like, if you look at their older stuff, it's more like pop punky, kind of more into the pop aspect of things. And then you go to the Warmer Weather EP, and it's like, no, we're heavy, and we're like fucking around more with the song structures, and we're not just pop punk.
Yep.
And so that's what really, like, that EP caught my eye, and I was like, okay, I want to see what they come out with next, and that's what led me to suggest that we listen to this album. Yeah.
Yeah, fun. Okay, fun background. There's some nuggets in there about your expectations and maybe what you were hoping for that, like, I definitely didn't know. So that's fun. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna jump in and just start. And was thinking about this album review and was like, I have to do this. First time. I mean, I've had to do this before and like pull up the track listing, but this time I legitimately. I'm gonna mention this a few times, but so foreshadowing. But I just wouldn't even know like half these songs' names if I didn't look up the track listing. So it's not like where I'm like, wait, is the next song Blue Ruins or The Outsider? I'm like, the next song, I didn't bother to learn what the song was named. I saw the name and was like, yep, don't. And also some albums, like this was kind of true of Knocked Loose, where like I listened to it quite a few times before I looked at the track listing, and then I knew it pretty well. It was like track 7, track 8, or whatever. And the one thing that threw me for a loop was there was like 2 songs that I thought was one song, because it should have kind of maybe been one song. It wasn't. But with this one, it's like so many songs. It's 16 songs. It's just too many tracks to do that with. It's like nobody's like, oh yeah, track 14, that's a good one. It's like, no, it's too many. So I'm just gonna have to be like reading the song names over here, which is
yeah, totally. They definitely take the Under Oath. The early Under Oath approach.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, it's like a level. It's kind of with a much higher degree of absurdity and stupidity.
Oh, more absurdity.
It's like, yeah,
completely nonsensical. Yeah. I've actually heard them in interviews talk about the song names, yeah, they purposefully the song names are purposefully have nothing to do with the
Right.
actual song. That's just their
Ah,
thing. I don't know why it's their thing, but
yeah,
that's
I was
what they
gonna
do.
say.
Yeah.
Falling Up has that, but they do it better. But anyways, I'll get to that. Not that
Yeah.
that's an important thing at all. It's like it's a footnote, but just because I'm gonna have to be reading these track names over here, I'm like I gotta pull this up. Okay, so track one, I want to start because I mentioned this on the Hours review. This is, and also, well, no, I'm not going to say anything else, but with the Hours review, I foreshadowed, like, we're on a good run of track ones because we had, like, Sultans of Ping,
Mm-hmm.
we had Watch Your Mouth, then we had The Contract, and now I'm moving to Bedbug Island. And immediately starts off just super strong opener for me. And I did actually know I had listened to track two. I'll quickly foreshadow that. Like I had listened to track two because that was like the single. And at one point when you wanted me
Yep.
to listen to Proto Theme, you like said, "Hey, listen to Hot Mulligan's new single." And I went, and the one that like I looked up was "And a Big Load." So and you were like, "It reminds me of Emery," and I listened to "And a Big Load," and I was like, I don't know how you got there.
Yeah. It
And then
turns
I
out.
saw Proto Theme and was like, oh, there's another one that's and then I listened to that one and I was like, oh, now I understand. This is kind of like
Yeah.
Emery or Under Oath vibe. But so I
Right.
listened to "And a Big Load" a couple times, so I did have a very minor like degree to which I knew what that song was, which is pretty different than moving to Bedbug Island track one, and that's track two. So like I immediately knew like, okay, I know what track two is gonna be doing. So it's gonna be fun to see where track one starts. Track one, it's very like acoustic driven, and I think it's like basically ultimately ends up being the only song on the album that heavily features acoustic. That's not like an interlude type song,
That's not it. Yeah.
and it's very very good. Like it's super catchy hook, but just really chill vibes. Like
Mm-hmm.
kind of like borderline groovy, uh, like and laid back, with just enough of a punch to it. It just sucks you in right away. Like I don't know. For me, it was like a great opener, great tone setter, and it does the thing that I think is like a really like we're self-selecting into albums we like a lot. This is like one of the ones
Right.
that's a little
Right.
less true of, but so it's kind of fun. I'll emphasize this more because of that fact. Like it's not that easy to do the track one super well in my opinion, because I think with track one you don't want to like we talked about this with The Contract and Sultans of Ping, blah blah blah. So I'm repeating myself a little, but that's part of what happens when you see a similar good theme. Is like you don't want to show your whole hand. You don't want to just be like, here's the best song on the album that shows all the cool, like most of the cool stuff we're gonna do. You kind of want to like foreshadow just enough so it fits on the album, but kind of have it like be a little bit more of a one trick pony, but not like the trick of the album. If I'm trying to, I don't know, feel free to jump in and
Yep.
interject if you agree or disagree or would put it differently. But I feel like that's kind of the art of a great track one is like, don't be the best song on the album. That's always really disappointing. Don't show everything cool that the album's going to do, but do something really cool that grabs the listener and still sets a good tone, pulls them in, and gives them a taste of what's to come. But it like ultimately isn't like all of what's to come. It's maybe like a little bit. It maybe like sets a good expectation, but then is like you realize later like, oh, that wasn't just like what I was getting into. It was like a version of it, but only like one specific viewpoint of it, and a lot of other different things ended up happening that I wouldn't have guessed from track one. Like you kind of want to land somewhere there. There's a bit of an art to that, and this one it just does that really well. So really happy
Absolutely.
with track one on this one. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Absolutely agree. Yeah, I feel like something that, as we'll get into the album more, like something that Hot Mulligan does really well is just like writing hooky melodies, just like really
Yeah,
catchy, hooky vocal melodies, guitar riffs that are just really like they just stick in your head and you just want to keep coming back to them. And I think the first track does that very well. It, as you noted, there's more acoustic, it's more chill
mm-hmm.
than the rest of the album, but I think that's a great introduction,
Yeah,
but it at least like gets you into, you know, this is the kind of hooks we can write. This is the kind of catchy, fun stuff we write. I also want to point out I really like the towards the end of the song you get the like backing chorus harmony vocals,
yeah.
which I really like. And I just think the outro in
It's a
general,
really
just
good
like
outro. I
I
realized
think
I
this
forgot to mention
album
that.
as a whole, like I think the transitions between songs are great, and this is a good example of that. Like
Yes.
I think
Totally
this
agree.
song leads into the next song quite well, and I think that takes place a lot in this album. I think
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah,
a lot of
it's a
the
strength of the album
songs
for
just like
sure.
flow from one to the next. But yeah, like overall, this song is pretty basic. You know, it's pretty verse
Hmm.
chorus. You know,
Outro.
ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But it's a
it's
unique chorus, like you said. They have
but
they
yeah,
have the dueling vocals, which like bands don't do that enough, honestly.
I know.
For being
Yeah,
real, yeah,
right.
like
They've got the Emery
and
style.
like
They've
that'll
got the
be a thing I touch on. Like they don't like quite have the level of vocal talent where it's like two amazing vocalists in the same band. Like I wouldn't describe it that way, but it's
right.
still the way they execute it really well, and it's
They do.
absolutely additive, even though it's not like the two best vocalists in the world.
Yep. Yeah, the lead vocalist definitely it's not Emery where every song is like, you know, almost every song is like 50-50.
Yeah, yep.
The lead vocalist is taking
Yeah, it's more like 75
the
25 ish, so maybe
majority. Yeah,
70 ish.
75-25 is definitely closer.
And some
But,
songs are kind of like 90-10.
yep,
But
right. But when the guitarist comes in, it's great. And
mhm.
when they do some back and forths, it's great.
Yep,
Um,
totally
and
agree. Yeah, and this
yeah,
is a nice intro to it. Again, they're not like doing it super hard, but they do it a little bit in the chorus, and it's good.
yeah.
Um, I also think the acoustic little like what's the like artistry of the acoustic guitar like in the chorus is really good, and it's again foreshadowing like they don't really do that with acoustic guitar again on the album. They do it just like with electric
Hmm.
guitar. They have a lot
Yep.
of like really tasty little riffs and things going on in the back, or like little yeah, think like ooh, that's a fun little guitar part there, and but like that's not always super emphasized, but it's just going on. And I feel like this in the song they just kind of do that, but like with the acoustic, and it's just a fun again like you don't realize it's different until you like get all the way through the album. And you're like, oh, that's kind of like the only time they did
Yeah,
that.
right. Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah. Also, just want to throw out Proto Theme, which is the
yeah, that
single I
single, yeah,
suggested you listen to. That was actually made for a professional wrestler.
I read that. Yeah, they wanted an
Okay.
entry song,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Yeah. That's an entry song
It's
for a
kind of
professional wrestler, which
intense. I feel like professional wrestling's like Goonie.
I know. Yeah. Like after hearing that, I was like, what? I can't imagine that as
It's like, would you
a
die for your
entry
job
song.
now or whatever is like the line that
Yeah,
stands out from that song.
it's like emotional and screamy and like intense. I just it's like mind-boggling to me that
Yeah,
that's a pro wrestler entry song. But okay, yeah, sure. Um,
yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Well, let's get
Well,
back to that
that's
outro because it blends
yep.
really well into and a big load, which I already kind of talked about, so I'll just jump into it here.
Sure.
I like this one. It's a pretty fun 1-2 punch because this is we start with like this what ends up being kind of a not you can't call it curveball. It's track one, right? But like it ends up being a bit of like oh this stands out with the acoustic guitar work and kind of the way they write it.
Hmm.
And then we kind of come into another what ends up being kind of another version of that in that it's sort of like the most straightforward rock song of the album. Just like all right, here's just a rocker. It's catchy.
Very
It's
straightforward.
centered around a relatively basic riff. It's not like the lamest riff of all time, but it's like one of the less technical things that I would say it's like one of the less technical songs on the album, you know, if not like other than like interludes, of course. It's kind of hard to like stack up the songs on the album in that way, but
Yeah,
definitely like lower degree of technicality, higher degree of accessibility, but like more just rock.
but it's a nice riff still.
It is
It's
good.
like it's a
Yeah,
very
I like it. I think like this one, like it's definitely not a highlight for me. Like I'll reveal that right away. But like
fair.
I do really like the playing off of like the slower song as a starter a little bit. Like it's not like moving to Bedbug Island is like super slow, right? Like it is still like a bit of like an alt rocky type song ultimately with like the chorus, even though it's acoustic driven. Like it's not like super. It's not like you wouldn't call it a ballad, right? At least I wouldn't.
Right. No.
But then like this song is just like oh now we'll like punch you in the mouth a little bit and grab your attention with very fast paced big chorus I would say catchy and like it's a great track too. Like I feel like the 1-2 punch starting this album like I'll just reveal for me like quick because I always feel like I wait too long to reveal certain things, but like for me moving to Bedbug Island is a highlight and track 2 isn't and a big load isn't, but it's definitely like an additive song on the album, one that I actively really like, and I do love the way there's like that outro, and then it kind of like gets like that choppy, whatever they're doing with like the synth kind of like vocal choppiness, and then all of a sudden like the drum beat goes in and it starts like this just rock song, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, we're going again. It's almost like, version 2 of a track 1, in the sense that it's like, now let's grab your attention again. And I think it's a great 1-2 beginning to the album. Even though I would say overall And a Big Load is not like an individual song that for me like super stands out. It's perfectly placed and works really well with track 1.
Yeah, totally agree. I feel like And a Big Load would be like a track 1 on a lot
It could be, yeah.
albums. Yeah, like it's just a very, straightforward rock song. To me, it's like I think I made a reference on the Falling Up album of like, oh, this song could be this one I could see the most on an old Falling Up album. This one to me, I could see the most on an old Hot Mulligan album.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, this is like to me, this is like a classic Hot Mulligan song. It's very solid. I like the main riff. I think is very catchy, very good. I do just want to point out there's a really nice, tasty guitar part after the second chorus. Like
kind of solo, right?
It was like, yeah, a little bit of a solo. Yeah. Like I think it's the first flash of their like technicality.
Yeah. They're highly technical, and I actually think track 1 shows that technicality in a subtle way. But yes, agree.
Yeah,
like it's
absolutely
more overtly on display with like the guitar solo there. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you. And a Big Load is not necessarily a highlight for me either, but I think it's a good track.
Yeah, and it's always interesting to see like, it was like the lead single, and it's like has the most plays on the album currently by like a pretty good margin. It's just always kind of funny. It's like, that would not be, I wouldn't put that like top 5 on the album for me, but it's like has more than double the plays of any other song. But
yeah,
that's where simplicity helps a little bit,
Right. I always wonder who decides these things. Like, did the band decide that, or was that the record label? They were like, "Oh, this is the most accessible song," Right. I don't know. But yeah, I'm with you on that. Basically, I like the song, but it's pretty basic. Like I really like the guitar solo part. But yeah.
Yeah, you want to start off on track 3?
Sure. It Smells Like Fudge Axe in Here.
Okay.
A completely nonsensical title.
We're officially into the territory of song names that I feel embarrassed to repeat to people I know.
Yes. Yep. Oh, there's worse ones.
Yes, there's significantly worse ones on significantly better songs, so it's gonna get worse. Right. But
yeah. Dude, I gotta show you this song. It's called Monica Lewinsky. Yeah, I gotta show you this song.
Dude. We'll get to that when we get to that, man. Yeah. I just talked to my wife about that song last night.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Nothing I said about it mattered when she learned the song name. That's all I'm gonna say.
Dude, that's what's sad. It's like I kind of wish they would just name their songs more normal song titles. Because yeah, if you tell somebody, "Hey, go listen to this song," it's Monica Lewinsky, they're gonna be like, "Really?"
Yeah.
They're gonna not take it seriously from the get go. And obviously, like the band is like, "Well, we don't give a fuck." Like,
yeah.
If you like us, you're in on the joke.
Right. Yeah. Sure. Yep.
And I get that. But like, if I'm trying to share this with somebody.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, we're in agreement there. Let's get into that a little more when we get towards the end of the album, maybe, or whatever. I don't know. When we get a little deeper, I'll do a quick rant on that too later.
That's a very
when we've shared a few more song names, I'll do my rant on the song names.
Yeah, I mean, and
I wasn't sure how much you were gonna agree with me on that, but it sounds like at least 90%.
Oh, I totally agree. I think they're funny, and like from a person who already likes the band, I'm mildly entertained by the song names. They're just kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
But. And like, to be clear, to me they don't detract from my personal listening experience. So
yeah, like, I would agree with that. I just sort of forget. I would say I just looked at some of the song names and just like, I don't want to know.
Yeah. Yeah, but overall, like if I could pick, I would rather them just pick more normal song names, just so they would be easier to share with people and not feel weird about it.
Yeah.
But
I wholeheartedly agree.
So having said that, let's talk about It Smells Like Fudge Axe in Here.
Yeah, was Fudge Axe a scent of axe?
Dude, I have no clue.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't know.
like it could have just said it smells like axe in here, and I actually would have been a less that would have been a
Yeah,
less reprehensible song name. But
right? Why is it Fudge Axe? Yeah, I don't know. But regardless, I love this song.
oh wow, okay, first
It,
circle.
I think the dual vocals are on
They're good here.
are very good in this song. Emery reminiscent for me a little bit. Um, I think the vocal melodies in general in this song are just great, and screams are perfectly placed. And I'll go ahead and uncover one of my things here. One of my
Is it a highlight or strength? Okay, strength, yeah.
Dude, the Mac.
Dude, you can do it.
Rough.
Change the font color. I can do it if you need.
All right, I'm gonna read it first.
Dude, I'm really good at changing font colors.
I'm gonna read it first because I have it in my notes file, and then I'll uncover it. I think they use screams somewhat sparingly. Now, I say
I don't know that I
somewhat.
would say that. So, but okay. I think I see the point you're making. But yeah,
They have a good amount of screams.
yeah.
So that's why somewhat is like in quotes, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But they use screams sparingly. What I mean by sparingly is they highlight key moments and heighten emotion effectively with the screams.
Mm-hmm.
I think they use them effectively. It's not, when you compare a Hot Mulligan song to like a metalcore song.
Yeah.
It's like a metalcore song is doing just throwing screams out there all the time.
Right. Screams are just like what one of the vocalists does or whatever. Like,
right.
It's how they deliver everything.
Yeah. And a metalcore song will also use them to heighten certain parts.
Yeah.
But it'll also just be sprinkled throughout. Whereas I think Hot Mulligan like really effectively when you hear screams in Hot Mulligan songs, it's like, ooh. Like I think it really stands out and intensifies certain parts. And I think that this song is one of those songs that the screams are very effective. Especially just like.
And like, what's your favorite parts of the song? Is your favorite part the verses, or is it like sort of all of it, or do you like the verses the most, or the chorus, or is there some other part? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, I definitely love how this song starts.
It has a great riff. Super fun riff.
It's like the way it starts is super satisfying.
It's actually probably my favorite part of the song is like the first 30 seconds or something.
But it's probably mine too. Yeah. The way it starts is probably the best. But I think the whole thing is good. And like, yeah, I just wanted to highlight the scream part just to say like they do a lot of like catchy pop punky type choruses and vocals and stuff, and their style is like, some portions of their songs could like be in a pop punk song, but then
for sure,
but then they mix it up and divert, and part of that is the screams. And like, when the screams come in, it's like, oh shit, it's like I think they time it well. It's not
I agree. I mean, I think I agree to a lesser extent, but like I do agree. Like I think they pick their moments with the screams for sure, and they're not just screaming all of it. And I think maybe like there's times where it doesn't land entirely for me in a given song or moment, but like there are times where it totally does, and it is exactly what you're describing. And one thing you said that I want to highlight, and we've already talked about Emery a number of times, and then now you calling out that it sounds like pop punk, I just feel like I should call this out, and I'll call out where the moments are that it most feels like this. But for like what stands out of this album to me is that it's like a super cool blend for me of like Reliant K. Like I honestly, I'll just say it now and we'll get into it more. Like basically the first 5 songs on this album, I honestly think if you like maybe don't toned down the complexity level of like drums and technicality, because Reliant K, they're not like untechnical, but they're not the most technical. They're they're like not going for quite as fast paced in general. So if you like toned that down like 20% or something, or maybe 15%, and then just like removed 80% of the screams and made it all singing, but like Reliant K would sprinkle some screams in there, particularly in the days. Like it all could just be Reliant K in terms of the style. And I loved that about it, and it felt like a twisted Reliant K kind of like experience for me. And then so then I called out like kind of they blend like aspects of Emery, where Emery does also kind of have pop punk moments. They also like, Emery is like, what the fuck genre is Emery, right? Like they're super genre fluid. But they
Yeah.
kind of do a little bit of pop punk stuff. They do a bit of like metalcore vibe. They do a bit of just like alt rock. That's why people just call them emo or whatever. Cause it's like, yeah, they're kind of doing like a million genres all in one thing, and the main
Right.
thing is the emotion. That's the main thing, right?
People call Hot Mulligan post emo.
Okay, yeah,
Whatever.
So I could
Yeah.
see definitely parallels with Emery, but I actually think they parallel Reliant K more closely. And then the thing that most resembles Emery to me is the dueling vocals plus the singing plus screaming blend. And then the actual like typical song on this album in particular, of course, that's like my experience with Hot Mulligan, right? Is pretty much this album is like very Reliant K, and that's, I would say that's more true of like certain chunks of the album, but like first five for sure. Like I said, literally feels like you could have like put it on a Reliant K album and tweaked it a very small amount. It would have like totally made sense on that Reliant K album, which is like was pretty fun for me to like kind of realize that after it did. Like that wasn't like an initial thought I had. That was a thought I had like after listening to it like 8 times or whatever. So I was like, I think
Yeah.
like Matt Thiessen could have sang all these songs and just screamed like 1/10 of what they screamed, and like it totally would have
Right.
landed. It would have
Yeah.
worked completely.
Yeah.
So
It's
super
really
fun.
true.
I love
It's
that.
interesting that you say the first five songs too, because for me there's
The
and
interludes segment the album, and we'll get to that.
we'll get to it later, but there's a critical breaking point for me in this album. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would agree with that. Maybe, I mean, I actually think there's maybe multiple breaking points for me.
Yeah, there's multiple, but there's
Um,
one in particular that stands out to me. We'll get to it later.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, so for this song, I think I don't have as much to say about it as you. I would say like we agreed the beginning is really fun. I love the opening riff. Feels super like you go from like acoustic chiller vibe but still upbeat into like rocker into like fun pop punk riff with a fun back and forth vocal verse. It's like really firing on all cylinders. And then like I wouldn't say the rest of the song disappoints. Like I would say for me, I guess it'll kind of end up being like a little bit of a theme. It doesn't feel like the song is a like super highlight. Like the song for me is very like unobjectionably good but not great. It's just like fun. I like it. The riff's good. Like you said, the dueling vocals are good. The chorus is like good enough but not a standout chorus on the album by any means for me
Yeah.
personally. And nothing like ends up super grabbing me about this song. But it is one where like I do really enjoy the progression here. Like I would say for the first couple listens, I felt like there was a little bit of a morass in this beginning of like and a big load into It Smells Like a Fudge Jackson here into the next one a little bit. Like it felt like it got a little similarly in that it was fast paced pop punk. But then the better I got to know it, it felt like they were all distinct in their own ways.
Yeah.
And so this one is the most just like and a big load is like the rocker, and then this one is kind of like this is just a fun pop punk song with a good chorus kind of song.
Yeah.
And
But yeah,
but it doesn't. It's not a highlight for me. Not like a low light or one that I think is a weak point for sure. It's just like a good. It's like whatever like the best version of filler is, because I wouldn't call it filler. Like I would again call it very additive. Like I would kind of say it's on a pretty even playing field with And a Big Load for me. It's like I enjoy listening to this sequence of songs. I wouldn't want to skip this one. But it doesn't end up being a highlight. And it doesn't necessarily have any strengths that I feel like are like super noteworthy in the context of the whole album, or broader music I listen to. But it does really fit this vibe of this Reliant K thing, which is like a really fun portion of the album for me now that I've listened through it. Like probably got to close to like at least 15 listens through the album, and I'd say like the opening 5 for me is like a fun portion of the album, and then we'll get to the next when we get there.
yeah, for sure. I totally agree with like everything you're saying. I think this is in the same vein of And a Big Load in a way. Like they're different songs, but I agree like And a Big Load is more of a rocker, but both of them are like pretty standard in the viewing the album as a whole. They don't neither of them really stands out.
Mm-hmm.
But personally I'm happy with both of them.
Yeah.
Like I want to keep listening to them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely not skipping them. But yeah, I agree. Neither of them like stands out. Neither of them is a highlight to me. But they're doing the thing well.
Yeah. Like if you're gonna sit down and listen to the album, and you like this like at all like this kind of music, like I don't know why you'd be upset about this song or whatever. It's like it's just a good one.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you're is that everything you want to say about that one? I'll just jump into that
Yeah,
one? Yeah.
I'm good on that.
Because I think the next one continues the like we're kind of now in a bit of a groove. Like we've set a bit of a tone. We went a little fast paced rocky. Then we toned it back a little bit. Got a little more like punky and up like fun summery. Like this album definitely has good summer vibes for me, which I think it's like literally in the last like week I found it a little harder to listen to as like the weather's like turning and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
But like really fun upbeat energy to it. And I think that like song track 4, Island in the Sun, good song name by the way. Like moving to Bedbug Island, great song name. Island in the Sun, great song name.
Yeah,
There's some
great
really good
song,
ones.
right?
I don't know why like they can.
Some of them are ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of them are nailing what I like in an abstract song name, and Falling Up was always pretty good at that. And then some of them are like big misses. But anyways, this is a strange song for me. I kind of like that. I feel like I half hated it for a while. Like the verses are pretty coarse, pretty just like the lyrics are like talking about throwing up in your friend's face or whatever. I don't know. Like and then like they're just pretty like screamy, where it's like it's another pop punk vibe, but it's like let's just like scream this whole verse.
Yeah.
But the beauty of this song for me is like first of all the chorus is like I love it. It's like it's basically the type of pop punk or the type of song. It's not even a pop punk thing, but like the little bit of a curveball song, not like a huge, not like it's super novel, but like the fast verse, slow chorus, which is definitely like the exception to the rule. Like most songs would be like slower verse, maybe like more technical stuff happening in the verse, but then like the chorus is where like the big riffs are happening or it's louder or whatever. And this is like definitely like a loud, chaotic, fast verse, and then slow it down for the chorus. It was super catchy. Love the slow chorus in this one. Like it really grew on me. Like it took me a while. I'd like get the chorus stuck in my head and be like, which song is this? It can't be that one because I didn't like that one. And then I'd listen like, oh no, it was that one actually. I just didn't like the first verse basically. And then like the whole last like minute is is kind of like its own little interlude vibey section that like goes from that second slow chorus into just a fun, very technical, lots of layered vocals going back and forth with the two vocalists.
Yeah, alternating vocals.
Yeah, like this is sort of a tale of two songs for me. Like first half-ish is like if the first half was the if you took the first half and you multiplied it by 2, I would not like it. If you took the second half and multiplied it by 2, it would probably be a highlight. Instead it's both or whatever,
Yeah,
and it's so it lands kind of somewhere in the awkward middle, but I would say again it ends up being generally additive. And they're never. This is a trend enough now to call it out now. They're never doing the same thing. Well, I shouldn't say that. They kind of end up doing some similar things twice, but in general they do a really good job making like
the songs.
It feels very cohesive overall, but like every song really stands on its own in some way for the most part. I mean, 16 songs, a number of those are interludes, and a couple are a little samey, but like out of 16, a couple being samey is a pretty impressive resume. And so at this point in time, where I would say this is a high complexity song. It does crazy verses, slower chorus, then a cool like last minute that's like, again, sort of like a bridge just into an outro kind of thing. And the ending really lands super strong for me. It sort of just ends up being a song where it's like, would I ever pick to listen to the song individually? Probably not, because I don't like the first minute of it enough, and it's only like 2.5, 3 minutes or whatever. So it's like a big chunk of it. It's not like 6 minutes where the first minute's not good. It's like 1/3 to 1/2 of it is like not my favorite basically, but like the second half is really strong. So kind of a complicated one, but.
Yeah.
Again, another song where if you literally took out like if you did just if you could picture the beginning little riff and like they start immediately like screaming back and forth and talking about throwing up in the kitchen or whatever, if you just like took out all the vocal and were just like Matt Teason do a bar, you're like this is a Reliant K song.
Right. Yeah. Oh, 100%. This one, totally.
Yes.
Like I mean, for me, this one like it has a very like happy feel. It's a very major scale.
Yeah, that's true.
Happy sounding song. Even when they bring in the screams, it still sounds happy.
It does, yep.
And this is actually this is a highlight for me, but it's my like 5th of 5 highlights, and I was torn
Yeah, I can
but
see
I
that because I do think the back half is like super good, and it took me
but
like
I really like the song.
it
Yeah.
honestly probably took me like 12 listens to get to the point where I realized how good the back half was
Yeah.
because it would start and I'd be like, this one.
Yeah, no, and this was actually one of the I think this was the second single after And a Big Load.
Okay.
And I heard this one at first and I was like, eh. And then I listened to the album quite a bit more and I was like, actually, I really like this one. Yeah, I just like the contrast of like the very major scale, happy sounding guitars and music with the screams. I love that contrast, and I
It is a
love
cool contrast, yeah.
the alternating vocals
It's a good
towards the
call.
end, and yeah, just the end with the like chorus in the background and the
Yep.
screams on top of it. I love that, and you know they do that throughout this album for sure. But I think it's showcased well in this song, like just the layered vocals with screams on top of harmony chorus vocals
Yeah.
in the background and stuff like that.
It's such an interesting
Really,
single choice because it's like, whereas End a Big Load is like entry level, like basic of what they do here, the song is kind of the opposite. So it's
yeah,
interesting.
it's pretty
Like the
weird.
punch.
Yeah, but I think I can see it as a single choice just because it like sounds so happy.
Yeah, no, I think that was a good call out that I don't think I even fully caught like the major scale with the screaming is a pretty
Yeah,
unique contrast
yeah,
that
right.
deserves
Like most,
some
you know,
highlight. Yeah,
the majority of like metalcore songs, if you just took like a sample
yeah,
of average metalcore songs, like most of them are not in major scales.
yeah,
They do not. They're using minor chords and
yeah.
you know alternate chords and things that sound not
Darker. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, we're
But
screaming for fuck's sake.
right, exactly. Yeah. Um, and I'll just highlight my standouts.
Yeah, we've already kind of touched on a lot of them, so
I just yeah,
I've seen
I
that.
revealed all of them.
Yeah,
So yeah, something about this album for sure. The songs are short and sweet. They grab you quick and they leave you quick. Like they're I think there's only one song over 4 minutes. I'm
jeez, I
pretty
can't even
sure
tell you what song that is. Let me look.
it's it's
Oh yeah, okay.
Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah.
One of the more
Add to the
ridiculous.
repertoire of songs you're embarrassed to say the name of. Hey,
Yeah.
listen to this song. What's it called? Uh, can I just send you a link?
Yeah, I don't want to say it out loud. Yeah.
In fact, I don't
Um,
know how to say it out loud.
I think that's the only song over 4 minutes though, and like
Yeah, I just
and
scanned it.
some
You're right.
of them are like, I mean, there's some songs in here, and we'll get to them later, but there's songs in here that feel like full songs to me, but they're like a minute 40, and it's like
Yeah.
what? That was a minute 40? How did you just fit all that in there? Like what?
Yeah, that is a
And
impressive thing
you
they
know
do.
that could be viewed as a pro and a con. Like,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
you know, you don't get bored, that's for sure.
I feel like
But
that was a Nick Carney noise I just did.
yeah, yeah, right, yeah,
Been hanging out with Nick too much.
yeah, totally. But yeah, like, yeah, you don't get bored, but at the same time, like, if you're really like digging a part, like, it's not gonna last very long. So
Yeah,
you're gonna
in
be
general,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can think of one immediate exception that's super satisfying. I can't wait to get to it.
Okay, I feel like I know what you're talking about. We'll see.
But
We'll see.
but yeah, no, I totally agree with that strength overall. And it's a tightrope to walk of changing gears fast enough to not let anything be stale, right? Like Falling Up did not do that, and it was okay. It was forgivable, right? This is where like it's not like if you just because you don't do something it means it's horrible or whatever, right? Like it's a whole spectrum. Falling Up on Hours was quite the antithesis to a lot of what's going on here. Of like
It's like the opposite.
they were
Yeah.
like super indulgent and like let's repeat this chorus 6 times actually, and you get to the sixth on
Yeah.
Ava and the Waving World, and you're like. It's still going, you know, or whatever. But like the vibe is they're achieving, you know, for much of the songs, they were triumphant in accomplishing this like massive atmosphere and world. Like I said, I literally reminded me of like stepping off of the starship in Metroid Prime on the new world, Phendrana Drifts or whatever, and seeing it. Like
100%.
that's what it felt
Yeah.
like listening to some of those songs. But here, it's like they're just constantly engaging you with twists, new hooks, a new technical part here. But they do toe the line of it's very cohesive as well. And I think
Yeah,
part of that's because it is just this pop punk energy carrying across the songs. That's probably the most
yeah,
distinct
totally.
thing that is
Yeah,
like most pervasive, even though there are some songs and some exceptions that like pretty deviate from that pretty significantly, but that's like the energy that's really carrying you for most of it. Especially this first five. That's like the first five I feel like is the like let's get you into this pop punk groove. And then we'll like start playing with it more the deeper we get.
yep, yeah. Everything's really hooky and catchy, especially at the beginning. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, and you know, the other things I put for standout moments that
Yeah.
make you want to keep coming back, despite there being all short songs. Like we'll get to more later, but there's some really standout moments that it's like, man, that only lasted 15 seconds or whatever, but I gotta listen to
Yeah.
that again.
Yep. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that was actually I think maybe that's one of my strengths. Let me see. I should just reveal that strength too. Maybe that's just what I put this somewhere. Different songs have different strengths, have very different strengths. I think that's what I was trying to get at here. Was they don't make you're never bored in different strong songs. Like the thing you remember about like Island in the Sun, is about like this slow chorus into this cool, unique technical outro, and it's like, is that true of any other song? Like no. So yeah, it's
yeah,
like the things that are grabbing you and standing out song to song are pretty different, which is definitely a good way to make you wanna come back.
yeah. Yeah, and then the last thing I said in that section was just all the benefits of pop punk, but with better instrumentation and also screams. So
Yeah.
I mean, and that's basically what we're talking about. Like they have the pop punk hooks and catchy guitar riffs and drum beats and etc. But they also have more complexity and screams and other So that's what those are the standout things to me about this album. Um, and yeah, so to sum it up back to Island in the Sun,
Mm-hmm.
this is a standout for me.
Oh yeah, you had it in your
This is a
highlights. I
highlight for
should
me.
highlight them.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Yep.
But like I said, this was number 5 out of 5. So
Yeah.
I my other 4 highlights I like more. But like out of the first chunk of the album, this is my favorite one.
Okay. Interesting. You want to take away the next one, or you want me to jump in?
And yeah, sure,
Okay.
I'll go for it. So Bon Jonah, I'm assuming that's Bon Jovi, but Jonah instead, I guess. I don't know.
We can only guess. We can only guess.
Yeah, I mean, I like this song a lot. Super catchy verse riff and vocals. Like it just starts off as a lot of these songs do, like with just like it just grabs you right away. Um, I'm also kind of addicted to the bridge in this song specifically. I think the bridge is really nice, just really satisfying to listen to, and it flows so nicely back into the chorus when the last chorus comes in after the bridge. But yeah, overall, other than those specific highlights, like this is kind of another, to me, another like just good like pop punky doing the hot mulligan thing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
kind of in line with And a Big Load, kind of in line with It Smells Like Fudge acts in here.
Yeah, I can see that.
It doesn't sound the same as either
Mm-hmm.
of those, but it's doing kind of the same thing. But I think it's well executed. It's definitely not a skip for me. I definitely like it a lot. Not
Yeah.
necessarily light. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to tee up. I was like, should I go first on this, or should I try to tee up for this? And I was pretty confident this was going to be the case. This is one of my songs I predicted I liked more than you. It's one of my
Okay. Well,
highlights.
you're right.
The first time I listened to this album, first couple times, well, first time I remember it. I was like on a walk, listening to the album, teed it up. You go into and a big load. It's fun. You get to Smells Like Fudge acts in here. And there's kind of like a level to which the chaos level's building. Like you start kind of slow, and then you're like rock, but at least it's like a straightforward rock song, and then you're like pop punk, but with dueling vocals and screaming, and then you get to Island in the Sun, and for like first listen, I was like, this is just a lot right now, kind of
Yeah.
vibe. And then this riff of this song started, and I literally smiled and was like, ah,
It's
this.
hard not to. It's hard not to
The
smile.
opening riff is just
Yeah.
so clean. And if you just like
It's
play the song
nice.
on its own, I think you might get that. But in the context of the album, especially, it just breaks in, and it's sort
Mhm.
of like it breaks this wave of chaos and complexity. And it's like, here's a good, clean little riff for you. Again, could be a Reliant K song. This whole song could be a Reliant K song.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
And I love it. It's great. I love Reliant K. And yeah,
Right.
this one for me, it's just the chorus is is great. The the riff is great. Everything's great. There's not like, it's interesting. I feel like I almost have to go back and listen to the bridge a little bit. Like I don't know that the bridge stood out to me more than the rest of the song. I just love how it just feels like they dialed back the complexity and dialed back the intensity for me in a moment where it needed it,
Mm.
and it just hit really hard because of that. It was like, oh, this just grabbed me. It was really easy to follow. Loved it on first listen. Was kind of like, was this just a first listen where I didn't get the other stuff? Like the other stuff was getting, I was getting in over my head with the other stuff, early listens kind of thing. Where it's like I feel like my first few listens, I'm such a slow first listener. Like I know we talked a little bit about like doing reaction videos and how I thought that could be fun, but like the double-edged sword with that is I feel like the first time I listen to a song, maybe it's less true with like a single song, but like with an album, I get like a few songs deep and I'm just like, I can't keep up. I'm
Right.
drowning, and
Yeah.
I mean like I was fully
Totally get
drowning, and this song just like broke, and I was like, my head's above water. I'm just following this song. I'm vibing with it from day
Yeah.
one. And I was kind of like waiting for it to get old or something a little bit. Like I was kind of like, is this going to be one that doesn't like age as well? But no, it stayed as like a song that like I love, and it's also kind of like it's particularly fun too because not only is it like it's breaking serve a little bit there, um, from just what was going on, the like level of complexity and chaos that was like kind of building throughout the album. It kind of breaks serve and dials it back a bit, and then also we go from there to at the first interlude song of "This Makes Me Yummy," which is like a nice interlude, and I'll just jump into that because I don't know that we need to like, like that I need to hand
Yeah.
it off to you for that. Like it's like they do a number of interludes on this album, and overall I would say they do a good job with the interludes. It feels like a little bit of like, again, just breathing. It's like, okay, we'll give you like a little bit of this simpler song. It's just great hook, great vibes, upbeat. We're taking like the upbeat elements, like we've been talking about it, right? Like at the Fudge Axe song and then the Island in the Sun had kind of been building this like level of major chord vibe, but with chaos. And they're like, let's just give you like the major chord vibe, song, or let's just give you like the
Yeah.
upbeat pop punk song with no frills. Like, there's still a couple screams. Not like we literally like became not Hot Mulligan, but like we're just kind of giving you some candy a little bit, and for me
Yeah.
it really landed. And then I feel like having an interlude with what comes next makes a lot of sense. It's like I'm breathing a little bit. I'm just taking a little bit of time with lowering the complexity, and now we're gonna build it back up again. And I really like that. Their interludes are really good. This makes me yummy. It's not like it's like you should go listen to the song. It's a highlight. Like that's obviously not true. But like where it is on the album, plus the way Bon Jonah flows into it, plus the way the next song starts, really works for me. This is like a
100%.
section in the album that I feel like if I had to say what I think is the strongest part of the album, it's basically starting with like the end of Island in the Sun for the next little while, and this interlude is part of that, of just giving you a chance to breathe. And this interlude, it sort of starts to build a little bit of this emotion that we then get from the next song too. I feel like a little bit of like a, because if it just went from Bon Jonah to Monica Lewinsky, it'd be slightly abrupt in terms of the emotional back and forth. Because like I would say Bon Jonah has like a little bit of like the self-deprecating lyrics, but overall it's like a kind of good vibes feeling song. Whereas Monica Lewinsky, it still has that pop punk upbeatness to it, where it's like in that sense kind of good vibes, but it's very heavy lyrical content. And so
Yep.
this is kind of giving you that foreshadowing of an emotional, like kind of like getting you ready for that emotion to come, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of that really lands for me. Like I would say this is a band and album where like as we continue to talk, I'll give the specific examples. Some of the stuff really lands, and some of it like doesn't land as much for me. And this is the point of the album that's like, wow, I'm like really resonant right now with like the emotions and the music. So yeah,
Love it. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm totally with you. I think they're the interludes throughout this song, throughout this album. Man, I can't talk. Um, are very effective and like really just break things up nice, keep things flowing nice, and I think
yeah,
that the songs in general like flow really well
yeah.
into one another.
I actually like just wish, like, I feel like since now there's just more interludes, we can probably talk not that much about them too much, because they kind of all, that would probably be the theme. It sounds like that's the theme for both of us, is like they do the interludes really well. And it's like the fact that this is 16 songs, like the thing that's annoying with interludes is when a band is like, here's a 12-song album and there's like 3 interludes. You're like, well, that's only actually a 9-song album. Here they're like, they kind of do the best of both worlds. Like here's an album, we have like 3 interludes and also like 3 songs shorter than 2 minutes. And you're like, oh my god, really? And they're like, oh, it's 16 songs. You're like, oh, so it's like basically 10 full songs with a lot of like extra goodies given. Okay, like they just really do it the right way.
It works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If this album was like 12 songs, it would be rough.
Yeah, it would be an EP. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like 25 minutes, like it'd be rough.
It'd be like knocked loose. No, I'm just kidding.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. No, but yeah, it's 16 songs. It's like 40 minutes. It's like, okay, that's still a full album, but it's, but there's some interludes, there's some short ones. Yeah, it works. Yeah, this makes me yummy. I don't have a lot to say about it. I think it's a cool melody. It's a cool break.
I like it every time.
Yeah,
I don't skip it.
I don't skip it either. Yeah, it's great. It's a very nice transition into.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Skibbity.
Monica Lewin's Skibbity. When your flagship song is truly a play on a middle school meme that has toilet in the same phrase as it.
Combined with
someone infamous for giving a blowjob to a president. Yeah. It's rough.
It's just absurd. It's just absurd. And I'm sure that's what they were going for, is just pure absurdity. But man, I would not want to share this song with
I would go, hey, yeah, this is a great example for me. I want you to listen to the song. What's it called? Sure, okay, let me tell you what track number it is. What track number it is? Fuck, I don't even. You know what? Never mind. Don't.
Yeah, never mind. Let me share a different song. How about Island in the Sun?
Yeah.
That one's good too. We'll just read that one.
Yeah.
I'm
highlighting it. I was so confident in this one. I'm just highlighting it for all. It's a highlight for both of us.
Yeah.
It was my song. I predicted we both love, and I was right.
Yeah, it's a great song. Good song.
You can take it away.
Oh sure.
Oh, all right, okay. I don't. Yeah, actually, I forgot that you started.
I'm obsessed with the drums in the song.
Yeah.
I think this is probably the best drum song on the album.
I knew that. Yeah.
I think the drums just like carry the momentum on this song. Especially the opening and verse, and then just like even the transition into the pre-chorus and chorus, like just the drums are just like completely perfect. I just could not ask for anything different. And then I also, and
they don't really they clearly sorry to cut you off, but I just wanted to call out that like Knocked Loose was a band where like every song where like the drums are good, and then there's bands where it's like every song there's no drums, like the stuff with Backseat Lovers. They're like, they have good I wouldn't say they had like bad drums, or like they have songs with good drums, and it's sort of like you notice them sometimes and you don't notice them other times, I guess I would say. Yeah, but like that's what makes this song with the drums particularly so special, is like it starts and you're immediately like, oh, this is awesome. Like I was the same way. Like this is immediately carrying my, like grabbing my attention with that, and then carrying it throughout. So yeah, I just wanted to call that, like, we haven't talked about the drums yet, and I don't think they're like weak or whatever, but like this song is definitely, for whatever reason, the cut above in terms of like that rhythm.
Absolutely agree. Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily like if I'm talking about the album as a whole, I wouldn't be like, oh, this album has awesome drums throughout. I wouldn't necessarily say that.
Yep.
But I don't think they're bad either.
Right.
I don't think they're like lacking. I just think most of the time they're like pretty much like doing the job. Like it's they're there, they're doing good enough. But this song, they like I think they kind of carry the song.
Yeah. They're definitely the biggest strength of the song.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, one of the top two.
I also really like, yeah, I mean, I like other aspects of this song too. I love the like whatever the like, I don't know if it's like some kind of bell sound or if they're doing it with a keyboard or what, but the like, man, I can't even hum it right now. But there's some kind of like little bell sound that's in like the main melody. I'd have to like play the song to get
during the chorus, like the wake up part, or where is it?
No, it's like the hold on.
5 a.m. in Tokyo part, or what?
It's like the dun, 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 dun,
oh yeah, okay. I think that's just guitar. I think.
But there's like something in the background too. Maybe it is just guitar with like some kind of pedal or something. But there's some kind of like higher pitched like resonant in the background. To me, it sounds like there's some other. Maybe it's just a pedal or something.
Yeah.
But I just love whatever they're doing to make it sound like that.
It sounds a little unique. Yeah.
It just sounds great. And it's like a great contrast to like the more like punchy, verses, stuff like that. And I think this song is just in general a great example of the way they build momentum over the course of a song. Like, I just feel like this song is just like, it's just going, carrying, building momentum, and then like after the second chorus, it just like goes into this new part that like a bridge, I guess, that's like really high energy, and then it releases into this like towards the end, it's like a sluggier.
Yep.
Like
they slow down the tempo. Yep.
Part. Yeah, and I just think like, and that's kind of a thing with the album as a whole. Like I think their style and just the way they write songs, just like it feels like it's going somewhere all the time. It just feels like it's like, yeah, I just feel like the momentum carries. Like I'm always excited at what's coming up next. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they're very dynamic. Yeah. They have surprises. They build. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and for me, this one, like the drums stood out immediately. It's also, I mean, like I assume, well, I guess I shouldn't assume, but like I don't like the lyrical content of the song is like definitely about like the vocalist's grandma dying. I don't know if you like read up on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
and,
like.
And I feel like once I read like that the dots connected on me pretty quick. Like it's pretty obvious once you like read any lyric. Like first couple listens, I didn't know what it was about, and then I started catching more of the lyrics, and then like read up on it a little bit, and I was like, oh okay, shit. So I feel like for me, like for my experience listening to the album, this is like the emotional centerpiece. Like they kind of have this more lighthearted beginning, more just like fun pop punk vibes, and I feel like they do like an amount of self-deprecation throughout the whole album, which is something maybe when I'm reflecting on the album as a whole I'll talk about a little more. But like this song, the grief and the like regret and disappointment about choices of how they spent their time and conflict about going to like the grave site and things like that. It's a compelling, like deep emotional pull to this song. And I think between like the drums are really good, it's really catchy, it keeps that upbeat vibe going, but then has this like really powerful emotion behind it. I think it stands like if somebody was like, if I was going to just tell someone to listen to one song on this album to like show them what this band was all about, I would say go listen to, and then I'd look at the song name and go, shit. Go listen to track 7. Like it would be the one where I'd be like, this is the song that you don't want to be track 1, because if it was track 1, everything else is a disappointment. Everything else doesn't really rise to it. It's great where it is. You've kind of built up to it. You've shown what you're gonna do, and then this is sort of like, it's not like the crescendo per se, but it's like it is like the focal point of the album, and it's kind of showing everything they're all about on this particular album for me.
Yeah, no, that's a great summary. Yeah, I totally agree that it could not be track one. It's I think it's perfectly placed right in the middle, and it kind of serves as like I really like where it sits.
Yeah.
I really like that they've got these more happy sounding, more like simple kind of fun pop punky type vibe in the first five, and then you've got This Makes Me Yummy, nice interlude. Then you've got this one.
Yep.
Then you've got another interlude.
Interlude, yep. Mulligan minute.
It's like it's isolated. They're like this is
Yeah.
this is
Is this the one that you were called out earlier as the turning point?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this one and yeah, I mean you could look at it as this or as the next interlude. Either this is the turning point.
Because Mulligan minutes sort of, in my mind, kind of like the continuation of the emotion, but like stripping it down to just acoustic. Just one of the singers, not the like lead.
Yeah,
like the other singer.
Yeah, this is the guitarist singing this one. Yep.
And which is interesting because I don't.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's interesting because as I understand it, it's the other vocalist Tade's like his grandma died that like Monica Lewinsky's about is my understanding. I could be wrong on that. I'm not an expert on the personal lives.
Lead vocalist? Yeah. Yeah. It is.
So then the fact that it's the other vocalist singing about a death, I don't know if it's singing about the same death or if it's him singing about a death from his family, like another one. But just basically kind of giving a little bit more time and space on that grief. And like you talked about Monica Lewinsky, like it slows it down at the end. So yeah, they kind of like, you have Bon Jonah, which is that like a little bit like simplicity break, clean lines song, right? Like just upbeat. But then they use that This Makes Me Yummy to kind of say like, okay, we're transitioning from all that pop punk upbeat stuff. We're gonna imbue some new emotion into this. Then they hit you with this one, a pretty big gut punch, and then they're like, okay, now we're gonna let that breathe, but like we're still embracing the grief. Like even though we're letting you breathe a little, we're not like we're letting you breathe in that grief, you know, like kind of like in that low. With Mulligan minute, and it works. It really works for me. Again, like this is like I called this out earlier, but like this is that like middle section of the album that like really lands for me. So absolutely. Yeah, Mulligan minute's another example of a really good interlude for me. It really carries the emotion of the previous song, keeps it going, strips it down, sort of explores just from like perhaps another individual's perspective on grief and death. Not sure, but like I'm not sure whose death it's about, but it seems like it's either a different person singing about the other person's grief, or it's that different person singing about their own grief from the passing of a family member and kind of describing a scene of like someone crying from it, like and them being like lowered in the ground, and it's just you just feel like you're connecting with these artists as individuals by listening to this music, which is I think what like a lot of us crave when we listen to art and like music like this. Is like I want to feel like I'm connecting with them, like they're being authentic, and like I'm learning something about humanity or connecting with something about humanity through it. And I feel like this is a sequence where it really feels like that. So they did a really good job with it.
Yeah, 100% agree. I'd say just to add to that, totally agree with everything you said. Just to add, this is my favorite of the three interludes. I think the acoustic guitar is just particularly beautiful and nice on this song.
It is.
Like this one gets stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Between the vocals and the acoustic guitar, and it's also just long enough. I feel like it's. I think it's like a minute.
Yeah. So This Makes Me Yummy is like a minute 11, and then Mulligan minute's a minute 45.
Yeah. Okay. Minute 45. Yeah. It's like just long enough to like it feels complete.
Almost feels like a real song a little bit. Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah. It almost feels like a full song, but it's also like it doesn't overstay its welcome.
Well, I'm just realizing this song is longer than Let Me See Your Mounts. That's crazy. We'll get to that one later, but
yeah. This song is longer than Let Me See Your Mounts.
Mulligan minute is 1:45. Let Me See Your Mounts is a minute 40.
Oh my God, that's insane. See, okay, well, we'll get to that, but Let Me See Your Mounts does not feel that short. Okay, that's crazy. Cool. Well, yeah, I love this transition and echo everything you said about the lyrics and the emotion and everything like that. Yeah, 100%. And I'll just run with it for the next one.
Yeah,
How about
go with
that?
it.
So,
Have fun
spoiler
reading this song name.
spoiler alert. Well, I guess you could say maybe starting with Monica Lewinsky,
Mm-hmm.
but really like these next three songs, I are probably it's probably my favorite portion of the album. Uh, but you could maybe start it back on Monica Lewinsky, but like especially these next three songs, I'm just like obsessed with. There's been times when I don't have time to listen to the whole album, and I'll just start it at Cream of Wheat. Uh, and
That's not the song name. Say the song name.
Cream of Wheat of Feet, nah, Cream of featuring.
And not actually featuring anyone.
Right,
Just
Cream of
the
Feet.
song
Yeah.
name includes parentheses, feet, period,
Yes, it's
parentheses.
a
Like,
play
thanks,
on
guys.
Cream of Wheat of Feet, nah, Cream of, and then it's a play on featuring. It's a like double entendre spoof goof whatever. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Just like so many of these song titles, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But however, disregarding the song title because it's stupid. I'm obsessed with this song. I think it's
I kind of
such
thought this was my option number 2 of song you liked more than me.
okay. I did put this one as a highlight.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Can't talk. The next three are highlights for me.
I was highlighting them.
The next three in a row are all highlights for me, and these three, I'm just like, dude, these three are just like just banger for me.
Interesting.
This one, I think it's so catchy. There's so much energy packed into 2 minutes. Yeah. Just unbelievable to me. The contrast from the last track, and even from Monica Lewinsky, being more like it's not. It's an upbeat musically song, but it's more somber in vocals. And then you have the acoustic, really somber feeling song, and then you just get into this, and it's just like an explosion of energy. But there's still some acoustic guitar strumming in this one, which I think is kind of nice. It kind of like carries that into the song. And you got the album call out in this song. You got the little the sound of body when it sleeps.
Love that line.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I don't know. I don't have a ton to say about it other than just like this is an extremely effective 2-minute song for me.
Yeah.
Like it's just a banger, and it's just
it is really good. I picked 4 highlights. If I picked 5, this probably would be my 5th. I really like this one too, so I agree with tons of what you're saying. Just like grabs you right away. Like I feel like this is another great example. I have this in here somewhere. Is it in my strengths? I think Yeah, okay. The pacing, here's one of the strengths, and this is maybe no, I shouldn't say it. I shouldn't say it's the best because they just do it in so many other spots. I don't know when the best is, but the pacing in this album is just really good in general, and the album has a clear identity, but like they really feel like they break serve at the right moments of like we're kind of getting into something that's, and then boom, we hit you with something else, and it's you realize you wanted it, and that was like for me that was like Bon Jonah of like the simplicity. Good vibes, like boom, here you go, have this. And then like when this song hits after a minute, you're kind of like, oh yeah, I was kind of depressed there for a second. Okay, yeah, let's get back to this. I don't know. Yeah, it's very effective. Love it. It's also one that I really enjoy, and that like I can, you saying you love the next 3, like it totally makes sense to me that would be the case. I see the next 3 as kind of a distinct little portion of the album.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the entry point to this next little phase of like returning to being a bit upbeat, but like with a bit more introspection, I think, than maybe not. I don't know. I shouldn't like. There's plenty of introspection, and It Smells Like Fudge Jackson here, and Island in the Sun, I guess, and Bon Jonah. But it feels like it's more I should say there's a degree of there's an intensity level in the songs or the communication. Like I feel like there's a couple songs in there, particularly really like track 3, 4, 5. Like It Smells Like Fudge Jackson, Island in the Sun, Bon Jonah. The delivery is all really upbeat, even if some of the lyrics are not matching that delivery. Sure. Here it's like upbeat and fast paced, but there's some type of intensity that I'm not musically smart enough to put into words that has to do with how they like actually executed the song. But there's a degree of like intensity and a degree of maybe it's like minor chords or whatever where you're kind of feeling a little bit of a layer of introspection and darkness over the songs, and I think that's like matching the shadow they cast with Monica Lou and Skibbity in Middle of a Minute. But still then like returning to the upbeat nature earlier in the album. Sort of like, okay, we gave you a curveball there. We gave you a deep dive into this grief that's going on for us personally as we were writing this album, likely. And now we're returning to like the style we were doing earlier. But yeah, with like a little bit of a different coloring to it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I totally agree. Like, introspective lyrics is kind of just a given when it comes to Hot Mulligan. That's kind of like their part of their thing. But definitely, like, the first half of the album or the first 5 songs or whatever are definitely more upbeat and happy feeling, even if the lyrics are similar. They feel happier, and then once we enter this like second half, it's like clearly a shift has happened.
Yep.
Yeah, totally agree. But
all right,
yeah, love this one.
Next song I'll jump into.
Go for it.
Mix Master Wade on the beat.
One of the less ridiculous song titles.
I know, somehow less ridiculous, even though I have to. If you were like, tell me the name of your favorite song on this album, I'd be like, I literally don't know the name of it off the top of my head, and it would be this song.
This is your favorite?
Yeah, this for me is the ultimate highlight. I feel like it just hits all their strengths. I think Monica Lou and Skibbity is like the centerpiece of the album, but this song is my favorite. Like, I think the album would be more worse off if you like randomly removed Monica Lou and Skibbity. You'd be like, what? This is really lost part of the identity that's tying it all together.
Yeah,
but this 100%. Song for me is like hitting just this upbeat, again, like kind of returning to that Relient K vibe a little bit. Even with Monica Lou and Skibbity, Relient K could have maybe written that song, but I need to just stop saying that because I'm saying it too many times. It's losing its potency. But like this album feels very Relient K adjacent to me. I'll quit saying that. That'll be the last time I make that point. But this song, it feels like they're doing that thing, like the upbeat pop punk, really fun. I don't know better hook is just gorgeous. It's probably my favorite hook on the whole album. And then when you were saying like they do a thing and then it's done before you know it. You know what? No, in this song they were like, we're just gonna do a fucking breakdown for a minute, and it's the best part of the whole album.
That part is so fucking
is the absolute highlight of the album. By the time when I was like 5 listens into the album, it would like get to that part where it's they get through the kind of the second chorus part, and then they like it gets slow for a second, and then they just do that breakdown. And I would just like headbang so hard, dude. I'm like, this part has no bit, like the way the production choice, it doesn't actually sound that heavy, but like if they produced it differently, it would be so fucking heavy. That breakdown, it's so sick. I bet live it absolutely slays.
I imagine live it's amazing.
Yeah, it's so good. I love the last minute, and then they of course give you that hook one last time kind of at the end there. It's just a good song. It's the closest the album comes for me, and I think what ultimately ends up being a bit of there's a couple things that end up being like the weaknesses for me on this album of like how much will I really revisit it, and I'll get to that when we kind of have the whole picture to talk about. But like this is probably the song I could picture just like revisiting the most on its own. It's not like it is a very cohesive experience of an album for me. Like all the songs are stronger in the context of where they're placed in the album and listening through it all the way. And this is maybe like the best just like standalone one for me of just like I can headbang every time to that part, and the melody, the hook is so strong. So yeah, this one hits real hard for me.
Yeah, I totally agree. Obviously this is one of my highlights too. I said all 3 of these are highlights for me. This one is close to my favorite, but it's not my favorite on the album. But I'm obsessed with that part, where that breakdown part where it just comes in, Yeah, and it's so intense, and then the intense vocals come
Yeah.
in, or the guitar jams for a little bit, and then they just end with with the hook again. It's like it's perfect. It's just exactly
Yeah.
what it should be. Yeah, it's great. And like I'll just say too, the only thing I'll add is like I think this song flows seamlessly from the last
Yeah.
track.
It does. Or yeah. If
It
it's
has a super pretty like opening melody and catchy guitar riff to start it, and then it ends up in that super jam
yeah.
like breakdown part, and then finishes. Yeah, like I just and as I said earlier, like I think this whole album, like it's a great full album listening experience.
It is. Yeah. I
It
think
really does. Each
that
song
that
goes
is a great cohesive. Yeah. I totally agree with that. Yeah.
to the next one.
Everything on this album, even this song, is my standalone favorite. They all benefit from being surrounded by the tracks they were surrounded by, and not just immediately before and after. Like the whole, this one being 8 songs, 9 songs deep, or whatever. Like it benefits from everything you've been hearing up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, like, and I mean, especially with how short they are, like these 3 songs in particular too, just like how they flow into one another. Like I almost look at them as like different movements of one song
I
I'm
can see
listening
that.
to it.
Yeah, I really do feel like after Milan Minute, that's sort of like an interlude one through This Makes Me Yucky. It's like these are the three highlights
Yeah.
you have here that we'll get to the third one next. But yeah, that chunk, it's like if you want to listen to any one of them, you kind of want to just start with Cream of Wheat of Feet of not Cream of Feet, whatever the fuck, and then
Yeah.
go through Carbon Monoxide Hotel. Like it really does. It
Yeah.
flows really well. It's kind of hard to interrupt it.
Like if this was a Between the Buried and Me album, that would just be
One song. One song.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah. So we agree. This was great. So Carbon Monoxide Hotel.
Yeah, you do that one. Yeah.
This is my favorite song on the album. I love the chill opening riff and vocals. It's almost like a Radiohead-esque
The beginning
riff.
is so good.
What?
The beginning of the song is so good.
Yeah, it's so great. Like it almost has this like Radiohead-esque riff, and it just keeps going, and then they add like a layer of electronic drums.
Yeah.
The vocals start building up, and then the real drums come in, but the riff is still going in the background. Like I love that like progression in the beginning, and then the chorus is like addicting. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the post chorus, right after the first chorus is just like incredible. The guitar riff and the almost like spacey sounding, like just jammy part that like ends up coming back later on in the song is the part I'm like most obsessed with.
Yeah, you're saying after the first chorus, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
So
about.
like you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I did a deep dive on the song today.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to, if I can hum it.
Because I have an opinion on this song that I'll be curious to see what you think of, given that this is your actual album highlight.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, it's like you know what part I'm talking about though.
If it's after the first chorus, I know exactly what part you're talking about. Yeah,
it's like
I absolutely love after the first chorus. After the second chorus is a different one, is a different part, kind of.
Yeah,
so it depends on which one you're talking about.
But the one part comes back later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, and I just love the alternating clean vocals and screams during that like kind of breakdowny, spacey feeling part, and the layered screams that come in towards the closing of the song. It just hits perfectly to me. This song stands out as like it still kind of feels like a Hot Mulligan song, but it feels unique amongst the rest. Like it feels, to me at least, it feels different. It feels like they hit like a little bit of a different.
Yeah, it is. It is. Especially now that you mention it, yeah, it is a bit unique on this album.
I think it really stands out for me, and this one is like the single song that I want to listen to the most. If I had to pick one song,
I could see that. Yeah. Yeah,
go back
I
and
could totally see that.
miss this one. Yeah.
Because this one, I have like a conflict on this one because I love everything the beginning. Like for me, this song most exemplifies to me a thing that I think is just, and maybe this is like a thing that maybe like if I listen to the album for 5 more years, I won't think this or whatever, or 2 more years. But like there's a thing that I'm getting big picture here, but I think it helps prove the point. It's a fun thing. Like I one time with the Bill Murray interview, I heard him talk about how like a song can be basically like the genre of a song is not the song. Like the song is somehow its own thing, and you can like skin a song with metalcore, you can re-sleeve the song with pop, or you can re-sleeve it with whatever. And I don't always, that's not like a pervasive thought I have about songs, but there's occasional times where I'm like, I feel like this song for me, it's just they like, to me they didn't like sleeve it in the way that would have hit the hardest. For me, this song, I love like the first minute or what the build up to the first chorus. I love it. It's like total ballad, right? It's like, and for me the first chorus is like
Yeah.
gorgeous, and the hook is like a real hit for me. And then the post chorus into the second verse is also a total hit, like when the actual drums come in and everything. I just, they then bring in like the electric guitar and do like the screaming, and like kind of, for me it really changes like the melody of the chorus. Like I kind of wish they just hard committed to ballad mode on this song, and that
Okay.
would have like hit harder for me. I love that first chorus and that beginning, and like the back half is just, it doesn't, the melody doesn't hit as hard because of where they place the screams. And it's just in a sense like slightly, it's not like I dislike it, I just think the more I listened to it, the more I was like, oh, I wish they just like kept doing what they were doing
You'd
in that
rather
like
have it
beginning
be,
of the
yeah.
song. It's almost like the opposite of Island in the Sun, whereas Island in the Sun, I'm like, you can't take like a bridge outro and extrapolate it to like an intro, right? Like to like the beginning of the song and a verse. So I don't, with Island in the Sun, it's more like, oh, I just don't really like the beginning, but I love the back half. With the song, it's like I kind of wish they just like stayed in the lane they were doing. It's hitting super hard for me. And then when they like bring in that electric guitar in the second chorus and scream the like falling over, like I love the opening chorus, like where he's like almost doing like it's like a very subtle melody, like he's like singing, but it's almost like bordering between spoken word and singing a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just it's like a really landing for me there. So that's kind of where I am with this one. And yeah, I
Interesting.
just like,
Well,
I would love like them to just be like, we'll just do like a straight up piano ballad version of the song or
yeah,
something. Like I'd love to see what that would be like. I feel
that
like for
in
me
that
that would hit
yeah, that
harder
would
for
be
me.
interesting to hear.
So
A rare hard disagree for me. I think it's
yeah, I
absolutely
feel that. Yep.
perfect how they transition it into the more screamy, uh, just super. It just, I think it flows perfectly into bringing back that like syncopated, spacey, fun part with all the screaming. Like the
Yeah.
amount I've probably danced to this song on my own with headphones at least 10 times already, and I've probably only listened to it 15 times. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, a rare hard disagree for me. I think it's perfect the way it is. Would be, I think it would be significantly worse if they would have kept
Yeah.
it
Okay.
as a, but I would be interested to hear it if they
Yeah.
kept it a piano ballad. That would be cool. But I think the way it transitions in the back half is like
Yeah.
exactly what I want. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that. Yeah, like I think it makes sense. It's not like I think it's a bad song. It's just the more I listened to it, the more I was like love the beginning, and then it doesn't quite hit for me the same way in this back half. So
Hmm.
yeah, like I feel like I can, the picking the highlights, is always a little tricky. Like the easiest highlights for me were these two, and then I think the more I listened, the more I was like, I think Bon Jonah really makes it. And then like definitely Carbon Monoxide Hotel was still like in the mix for me, along with like Island in the Sun. Yeah, like I think the portions of the, and then Cream of Wheat of Feet. Yeah, whatever the heck that song's called.
Whatever that
Why
song's
do I have to
called.
read that song name? And like those ones were the ones in the mix of like there's stuff like for sure going on that I really like, and then they just
Yeah.
had drawbacks to them each one kind of do. So
Yep. Yep.
yeah,
I'm trying to think. What did I? Let's see. What did I say I would like more than you? I said. Oh, I said I would like cream of wheat more
oh
than
yeah,
you.
okay, you were right.
Yeah, that is true. I cannot. Oh my god.
I'll do it.
Dude, I'll tell you what, it's extra hard to
I
do
can't take
the
you anywhere.
well, okay,
I'm just
on this Mac,
kidding.
dude. I don't have any cursor
Yeah.
when it's white text, so it's like impossible because I can't just click and drag. And then I think the
No
song
cursor.
I
Jeez.
said that you would like more actually was "And a Big Load,"
Oh,
which I
interesting. I can see why you picked that. I mean,
that was the
I'm a
only
big
one.
I love me a riff and like a just rock song.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just thought you would vibe with that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I did like it, but I feel like we ended up being pretty similar in that one.
Song
What
we
do you say
both
for we
love.
both love? Yeah, I don't know.
I think I put Carbon Monoxide Hotel for song we both love.
Okay.
Wait, did I
Oh,
put
I
one?
can find it here. Oh yeah, you said Carbon Monoxide Hotel. Yeah,
I thought I did.
which you're like half right.
Yeah, half right, but
Yeah.
kind of not.
Yeah, no, that's fun. I feel like that's maybe the biggest disagreement we've had about any of these album reviews.
Yeah,
I've been waiting
yeah,
for there to be something we like actually said like I disagree with you on, so it's kind of fun to finally have
yeah,
one. But
yeah.
also to
Right.
have still both like the song, like so
Yeah, yeah,
us, you know.
yeah.
So-
Yep.
yeah, I've been thinking like I got a keyboard for my birthday and I haven't learned to play
Oh,
anything yet, but I really like I want to start playing around with it, but you know, I'm in the
that's
classic
fun.
phase of like I have 5 minutes of free time per day. What am I going to do with it with my, you know, two kids and
Right.
all the other stuff? But like you know, I think I've talked with you a little bit. Like, I mean, we obviously get on here and talk for 2 hours. We're like, are we going to talk? This will be a shorter album review. Guess what? We're at 90 minutes right now. We still have like a half the album to go. So like, we obviously love music. Like, I'd love to be able to like play a little bit of music or just engage with it, like continue engaging with it more and like be able to do it a little bit. Um, and so a thing with having a keyboard that I've thought of because I like to sing more. Like the longer that I've had kids, the more I just sing all the time because you're
Hmm,
just singing random stupid stuff to your kids all the time, and it's
makes
made me
sense.
much more comfortable with my own voice. And definitely for most of my life, I've been very like embarrassed, like too bashful to just like sing around other people, and that's like really changed a lot lately. Even though like I don't think my voice is any better than I thought it was necessarily. I'm just like, oh, everybody's voice is just what it is. Like I don't know, it's not something to be
Yeah.
embarrassed about. It doesn't have to be. I'm obviously not a professional singer, but it's fine. I can still sing stuff and have fun with it. But so I have this new added like dimension of like building up a small inventory of songs of like if I learn to just play basic keyboard stuff, what are songs I'd like to try to sleeve as a keyboard ballad so I could like play it and sing it. And like I would say Carbon Monoxide Hotel is one that kind of like it fits that mold of like, oh, this is just a song I think would like work really well as a true
Oh,
like
that could.
somebody could like execute this song with just a keyboard and singing, and I think it would totally land, right? Like that is not true of every song, especially with a band like this. It's probably not true of very many songs by a band like this, but that one I think it is true of. So just to
100%.
put a bullet at
Yeah.
the end of our conversation there. I think that's probably why I approach some songs in a certain light that I do these days. Is I'm kind of like when there's a song that I think is a super cool vocal melody, where like the vocal like the writing of the vocal melody is something I think is a particular strength of the song. That's something that draws me to it. Is like, could you re-sleeve it with just playing it over piano and like have it be something that'd be fun to try to like learn really basic piano chords to and then sing it and it'd be fun to play. And that it's totally true for that one for me. So,
Yeah. No, I could see a
but it's
yeah,
true of like the first portion, right? And then they
yeah.
diverge from it. But I'm
But
kind of like you could just lean into that and it would be like a power ballad vibe.
yeah,
And
I could
it would
totally
be
see that.
like they
You can make
already
real
do the breaking serve. Like I don't want to like say, I'm not trying to say it's like a weakness or a bad choice. Like they already broke the serve by just being like here's like power ballad, like here's like a minute of a power ballad kind of thing basically, you know, like their version of it. I'm not saying it's like super cliche. It's just like it is just like synth plus an electronic drum beat plus singing, and the melody is
yeah,
what's carrying it. And then they like introduce the drum beat. They still build it up in that second verse, but then they kind of just go like, okay, now let's like kind of back half of the song turn it into like a Hot Mulligan song. And like I
hmm
totally see why you'd like that. Like you like the other Hot Mulligan. I like the other Hot Mulligan stuff, but I'm like, dude, you're like killing it on this. Like just let it, like just lean in. You know, that's where I
yeah,
go with it.
yeah,
So, but yeah,
yeah.
like
Okay.
obviously agree to disagree a little bit. And like I see like your perspective too. Like I think there's a chance that if it was, here's the like crazy thing about music, right? And like getting one thing is like you don't ever know the counterfactual. There's a chance that if they just wrote it as the ballad, I'd be like, what if they screamed it though? You know, I
Right,
mean, there's a
right. Yeah.
chance I would say
But
both
what you don't
sides.
have, yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
that's a total aspect that I have to acknowledge could be the reality. Um,
yeah.
but yeah,
But yeah, I mean, to your point, it would at least like be more. It would be more unique, I guess, in the album if they just like stuck with that vibe the whole
Yeah.
time. It would be like,
But you
oh,
did say it is unique in the album as it stands,
I think it still
anyways. To
is.
be
Yeah, I
honest,
think it
yeah. And
still
I
is.
think honestly, like I think after talking about it, I wouldn't have necessarily called that out before talking with you about it, but now that we talked about it, like I do see that's true regardless. But
Yeah.
yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Well,
Yeah.
this makes me yucky.
This makes me yucky. Yeah, another interlude. Another good interlude. One that it's
Yeah.
just another vibe. I don't know. Just
I think this
very
one's
pleasant.
yeah, I think the acoustic guitar is beautiful on this one. It's a cool concept of him like telling a story over the acoustic guitar. My one gripe with this song is like, I mean, it is just an interlude, so I can, the gripe is
Yeah,
only,
right. Yep.
it only has so much,
Relevance,
weight.
yeah.
But I wish the vocals were just a little bit louder.
Yeah, you
I
can't like
just
really
wish
hear
you
it.
could actually hear the story. I
Yeah.
had to look up the lyrics.
I don't even
'cause-
know the story.
Yeah,
I can't hear it well enough.
I mean, I couldn't like tell it back to you right now because I looked it up like after the first couple times I listened to it. I was like, okay, I need to look this up, and then I haven't looked it up since, and I can't,
Mm-hmm.
but it's
Yeah.
basically like a story of a kid who's like somewhat bullied and depressed and in school and stuff like that. But I'm butchering it. Like I don't remember the details, and that's the point. Like I just wish the vocals were a little bit louder so you could actually hear the story.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I read it thinking like, oh wow, this is like well written. I wish I could actually hear this when
I've honestly never even put in the effort to learn the story because I was just like, it's too quiet, I can't hear it.
Yeah, it's just too. And I mean, to be fair, like when I'm listening to the whole album, I'm just happy to listen to the acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
So it's fine. It's not a huge complaint, but like, if you're gonna put a story over it, you should probably be able to
hear the story. Yeah, I have specifically thought like, oh, I just like would kind of like to be able to hear the story, but I'm always like, whatever. I mean, I guess maybe they intended you to not be able to hear it. I don't know.
Yeah. So small gripe, but beautiful guitar song.
Yeah, it is another good acoustic one. All right.
Okay, let me see the notes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's a fun one. For me, I'll just preface the whole last 4 songs of the album, which is kind of like another interlude at the end, with just saying like I think we've reached the peak of the album, and now what's left is like good stuff. Like I don't have any big objections with any of the other songs. Like I think it gets like super weak or anything, but for me, it's sort of like I think at this point we've seen all the best tricks they can do, and now they sort of redo some of those tricks a little bit, and none of it hits as hard for me. Let Me See Your Mounts. It's a fun one. Like the opening riff is probably my favorite part, honestly. It's like that little like riff in the beginning with like the do 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 do. It's like bouncy and fun. It starts really good, and then just goes really fast. And when it kind of finishes, it's like that was pleasant, but nothing stood out at the end other than the beginning for me with that one. But it's good. It's just, I guess I would say if there's filler on the album for me, it's kind of like starting here, moving on. Am I mad any of this is included on the album? No. Like I think it's a better album from having the next 4 songs, but this is sort of like a fun one. I see this one and the next one a little bit. They sort of like both remind me in their own way of Cream of Wheat of Feet, not Cream of Feet, but like not as good of a version of that song. Like this one is also really fast. Like that one's really fast, also really upbeat, but doesn't have quite the hook, doesn't have quite the ending, just doesn't stick with you as much. So it's kind of where it lands.
100% agree. Yeah, with your assessment, it's very like parallel to Cream of Wheat, but not as well executed. And yeah, I agree. Like, I totally agree. We've already, all my highlights have already been shared now. So
yeah, right. We're both pretty close on the same page. Yeah, about the fact. So, same with mine. Yeah. So
yeah, so we've already hit the highest point of the album at this point. I still like. I still definitely like finish the album when I'm listening to it.
Yeah.
I still like these songs, but yeah, Let Me See Your Mounts. I love how it starts, and then this one is like one of the few where I'm actually not happy with how short it is. I wish it was a little longer. Like, give me a bridge. Give me some. This song feels like it needs a little more.
Yeah, it sort of just feels like it ends. And you're like, oh, did it go anywhere though? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. This song feels like it needs something else. I like I like how it starts. I like where it's going at the beginning, and then it just ends, and you're like, okay, well, I guess that was that.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I do like
well,
the song name. Let me see your mounts. So we're like, could they put the better song name on a different song?
right. Yeah, and this one is a reference to World of Warcraft.
Okay, I was wondering if it was World of Warcraft.
Yep.
Yeah,
I,
and
I heard that on one of their like behind the scenes videos or something.
yeah, we've already talked about enough of the bad song names and made enough of a point of it. But I'll just give my last two sentences. This is like an inopportune time to be doing it because I kind of like the song name, but like we've already talked about cream of wheat of feet of cream of feet or whatever the hell, and Monica Lewinsky, and then there's one more, the Slumdog Skungillionaire or whatever the hell it is. Like some of the song names are just so bad. It's
Yeah, that's fair
like
to mention.
I
That
actually like I
yes.
knew I was gonna mention it, and then we like collectively mentioned it early enough. Oh yeah, and the Fudge Axe one. There's like a
Yeah,
handful of song names where I'm like, dude, I like following up song names. They're like Exit Calypsin, you know, they're like they literally make up words and do weird names, but they avoid the I'm literally embarrassed to share this song
yeah.
name
I mean, to me, the most
territory.
I think the most egregious one is for me is Monica
Same,
Lewinsky.
because it's so good.
Really? Do I actually have to say that out loud
Yeah.
if I'm trying to tell somebody to listen to this song?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the next one, I'll just jump in. Monster Burger and a $5 beer. This song's kind of interesting. It has a part I really like in it. There's like one riff that's like super fun towards the middle of it. I don't remember where like I feel like the vocal stops and they just do like a riff for a little bit, and it's like really high energy and fun. But I feel like overall, this is like maybe the least memorable song on the album. Like it's the one that I like in this moment right now. Like I don't feel like I remember it super well, even though I know I listened to it like 12 or 13 or 14 times or whatever. There's
Fair
mostly
enough.
like one part that I like. So um, I don't know that I. Yeah, this is an album where like we've both said, I like listening to the whole album. Like I feel like I enjoy starting the album and getting all the way through. I do a lot of walks that are closer to 30 minutes or like 25 minutes. And in that case, I might like start it a little early before I go and then like not listen super long after I get back. And it does feel pretty easy to like end at like this makes me yucky or let me see your mounts kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'll
I
say
get
so.
that. I totally get that. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, this is one that just ends up. Yeah, I do think I would say this is distinctly the least memorable song on the album for me. Uh, like version 2.0 of feels kind of similar to Cream of Wheat of Feet, not Cream of Feet. I hate that I've had to say that song name so many times. Um, like Let Me See Your Mounts feels similar in the sense that it's upbeat, punky, and short and fast. This
Mhm.
one, I actually feel like the core like riff and pacing feels similar in ways, but it's like longer and doesn't like I'm just calling it track 9 from now on. Track 9, which is this one, uh, like that one has a real payoff. Like the end really grabs you,
Yeah.
and there's
Yeah.
multiple parts. Like it's 2 minutes long, and like the way it ends really leaves an impression. And there's multiple sort of portions of like riffs and melody that like really stand out as memorable. Whereas this one, I feel like there's like one part of the 3 minute song that's like one riff part towards the middle that like gets my attention every time, and otherwise it sort of doesn't bring a lot to the table for me. So
Yeah, that's fair. I mostly agree. I think it doesn't bring a lot of uniqueness to the table when looking at the album as a whole. However, I enjoy the song. It's definitely like not a skip for me. I definitely um, like it. I think the song has is a strong example of the dual vocals. I like the
mm,
guitarist vocals with the backing vocals in this song in particular. Um,
interesting.
and like the ending has it brings in like the backing chorus vocals, which they do in several songs throughout the album. But like this one in particular, it ends with like backing chorus vocals with screams in the like foreground and the chorus vocals in the background. And I think this song is like I think I actually like this one a little more than you do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a highlight, but uh, I do enjoy this one. I would say I definitely like this one more than Let Me See Your Mounts, and I would say I
Okay.
like this one more than the first three songs, personally.
Hmm.
I actually like this one a
Okay.
fair bit.
I
Yeah,
could say, yeah, I could see it. I mean, I do feel like it's like in the same vein of those. I think honestly, I think there's like a legitimate chance that if you just like made this song earlier in the album, like if you just like swapped this song and Fudge X, it's like I might
yeah,
hearing one before the other enough
yeah.
times might make this one stand out, and then that one
But
feel like I've heard this a couple times already.
yeah, but after you've had the climax of the album already,
Yeah,
and then you
yeah,
get to this one, it's like, oh,
it holds it
okay,
back a
yeah,
little, yeah,
another.
because it's sort
Okay,
of not doing anything new at this point.
it's not. I agree with that. I agree. It's not doing anything they haven't already done, but I
And
think it's another well executed
yeah,
thing they're doing. Yeah. All right,
I feel you.
Slumdog Scungillionaire, or whatever it
Why?
is. I have no clue.
Why?
Um,
Like if you're gonna
I
make up a word, at least make it easy to say.
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. We've made our peace on this
Yeah.
album. They're so stupid. Um, they do. I mean, they're making us laugh. That's probably the
Yeah.
point.
Right. I mean, they're getting
I guess
mileage out
there's
of it,
that.
clearly.
Yeah. But okay, so yeah, I think the song's actually great. I really like the super calm opening. It's the longest song on the album. I think it's a nice contrast to like the onslaught of the last couple, just like
Yeah, that's true.
fast, you know,
Hmm.
intensity of the last couple. You come in with this like slower, longer song, and then I think the build up in the second half is really effective. Um, it just has this like kind of chugga chugga
Hmm.
guitar part into screams, and then the super screamy ending. It's like straight up to
Yeah,
me. It could
it's
be
a
off.
hardcore ending. Yeah.
It's like Emery Walls
Yeah.
type stuff to me. Like that's what it made me think of the most.
The
And
heaviest part of the album. Yeah.
what's that?
Heaviest part of the album, I think, like
Yeah,
indisputably, like the
it
last,
feels
the
it feels
ending.
distinctive. Like even though they're screaming throughout the album, like the ending of this song like really feels like it stands out.
Yeah.
And then after that screaming, they're just right back into the opening riff and the super calm, pretty vocals to close it out. I just think like that second half of this song is perfect. Like I really like the song. Actually, it was close to a highlight for me, but not.
Okay. Not quite out. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I thought that my prediction of a song you'd like more than me was this one.
Okay.
So I was like thinking I was gonna be mostly just wrong on that for a while. But
I was
yeah.
I was between this one and Island in the Sun for
Okay.
my last
Interesting.
highlight.
Yeah. This one's not like a miss for me. I think it just I do appreciate it. Like it's kind of like their Foxing era. They have like a little bit of like the way Tade sounds on vocals like kind of has a little bit of a similarity to whoever Foxing's vocalist is.
Yeah, I could see that.
And
Yeah.
and they like sometimes their energy I feel like they're bringing is like parallels Foxing, but Foxing obviously goes a lot slower a lot of the time and like fully divorces the heavy like the screaming at times.
Yep.
But this song feels like it could have basically been a Foxing song, and
See that.
like not I'm not saying that isn't like a criticism. It's just like an
Yeah.
observation of like a fun, interesting like overlap with a band that I already felt like they kind of overlapped with, and then they like went fully more in that direction. Uh, I just it's like I think we're like 15 songs deep. I feel like going as heavy as they go. Like I actually like it. I just feel it to me. It's a bit jarring. It's like okay, it just feels like a little bit like whoa. This is like getting to this degree of like heavy riff, all screaming, and like it's like very self-deprecating. Like I feel like they have a theme of self-deprecation, and like on like the songs that I think like Bon Jonah is quite a bit like that, and A Big Load's quite a bit like that. This song, those are and then maybe Carbon Monoxide Hotel a little bit, and I feel like they do a good job overall of like I don't just want to listen to like depression core
Yeah.
right now in my life in general. Like, and so this is like I would say coming from me like a level of like personal like what I'm resonating with in life right now, as opposed to like what I would say is more like objective level of analysis. I just don't need a lot of like super self, like I'm already struggling with enough stuff. I don't need just like going real deep into like negativity and self-deprecation. And I feel like the lyrical content is pretty dark throughout. It's obviously wrestling with grief and death, and then it's also wrestling with a degree of like feeling like a failure, alcohol abuse, and feeling stuck in a rut of habits tying to alcohol abuse, drug abuse, or just like not feeling successful or not feeling fulfilled. Those are like many lyrical themes I would say throughout. And then this song, but like the vast majority of those lyrical themes, the tension or the darkness is cut by the upbeat nature of the music. And in this case, it's like we're pulling you all the way down. We're just going full dark, right? And it's like I could have seen a point, like I wouldn't be surprised if I listened to this album in college if this was my favorite song on the album. And right now, it's
Yeah.
like I just don't need this, and it's not necessarily delivering on like musically in a level that like it's not like a bad song musically or anything, but it's not like it's like Monica Lewinsky sort of like objectively doing some pretty special things musically. This one to me is not doing anything like special. It's just like we're leaning into this emotional tone and this degree of emotion, and we're not going like we're not gonna kind of cut that tension. We're just gonna lean all the way in. And for me, it was just like I don't. It's not one that hits for me right now. I wouldn't say it's like a weak song. It's just like, especially compared to the rest of the album, it feels kind of like a little out of nowhere and a little out of place and a little non-resonant for me.
That's fair.
So that's kind of
Yeah.
where I land with that one. Even though I would say overall, like to comment on the actual song itself, not just like where it hits with me personally right now, I actually think like as a sort of foxing style song, it is pretty well done. Like I feel like it starts kind of melancholy with that slow, like you said, that slow little guitar line in the background, melancholy lyrics, reflective. But then just the big build up, and if you actually like read the lyrics, you're like, okay. For me, it's like I'll just stop reading these right now. I don't need to know. I need to be like engaging with things that are pulling me up a little bit right now. Yes.
Yeah, it's
So,
they're pretty intense.
and
Yeah.
I think that's actually probably a thing that like sort of holds back and a big load. Like you predicting I would like that one more. Like I feel like I totally see why you predicted that, but I think one of the reasons why and a big load didn't like I like it, and especially like it as like that 1-2 punch with the opening, but like that one is pretty leaning heavily into the like, I think like one of the core lines of the chorus is like I'm useless or whatever, and it's like just a line I like don't need to be singing in my head right now. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I think those are some of the aspects that don't land. That's where life's dynamic. That's like an emotional wavelength that I'm not seeking out right now. And so like that spots in the album where they picked to go that direction, which is maybe also even with like my commentary on Carbon Monoxide Hotel. I'm not saying it's all that, but like I'm just trying to kind of potentially analyze why I feel the way I do about certain sections and certain choices they made. You know, like keeping that song more like power ballad vibe might have like helped it cut the like fact that that song's pretty heavy too, right? So versus like
Yeah.
just leaning into like let's scream these lines, let's like
Right.
feel like a little darker about it.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so yeah,
Totally get it. Yeah. No, it's interesting how we have like kind of different uh takes in this regard. Um yeah, I mean I totally get it. I guess for the most part nowadays for me, lyrics are like the last thing I look at or
yeah,
even pay attention to. So like a lot of the times like I'll have listened to a song 10 or 15 times and still like, maybe there's a couple lines that stick out to me, but
mm-hmm.
like the lyrics are not like overall like dictating how I feel about a song. However, having said that, I'm aware of Hot Mulligan's lyrics, and I think I think I kind of shared this sentiment on when we listened to Knocked Loose.
It's pretty dark.
Um, yeah, Knocked Loose, extremely dark. Now, I mean, dark in kind of a different way, but still dark. to me it's like watching a sad movie or something. And I guess everyone handles it differently, or just
Hmm.
receives it differently.
Yeah.
Uh, and I guess for me, like, I enjoy. I don't know if enjoy is even the right word, but I don't know. I get some kind of enjoyment, or some kind
Like
of good feeling
gratification. Yeah.
out of entering a these emotions.
Yeah.
And when a song does enter that space and can effectively like make me feel something in that way, I don't. It doesn't always, like, even if I'm totally feeling happy in life and not
Hmm.
relating to it, I can still be like, wow, that ooh something, even though it's like I'm not personally feeling that right now. So,
Yeah. No,
but
I think that's like
having
I
said
would say. Oh,
what
go ahead.
you're saying is totally valid, and I totally get
Yeah,
it.
and I would just say in response to that, like I think everything you said makes sense to me, and I've felt that way too. And I think the thing here is just life is dynamic. Like I feel like I've had seasons of life where exploring that and having music pull me in those directions is really valuable and is something that like I'm seeking out to some degree, and that would be like a value add, or that would be like something that makes me think more positively about the music and the album. And I think just like generally coinciding with the season of life of parenthood and just like some of the struggles I've had with balancing the like workload and mental load of those things, and to our vast number of viewers, connecting with maybe I don't know who would connect with the different people connect with different things at different times in their life basically. And I think like where I'm at right now is a different place than I was at for like the 5, 6, 7, 8 years before that of just like I already have day to day struggles with like sense of purpose and just feeling like there might not be a lot of me there sometimes, like a lot of days of like I'm just giving, and I have minutes left over for little things,
And
and
even
I
the
have these
small,
big dreams that I used to have,
you know,
and it feels like a year passes and I do 5 minutes of work towards those dreams.
mm,
And like I feel like the things that I thought were going to be the most fulfilling for me that I still think could, it's just grappling with like, oh, I always saw myself as someone who'd get a lot out of parenthood, to use one example. And then like when you have a infant, newborn, 6 month old, 1 year old, 2 year old, like I would say all of these seasons, it's been 2.5 years, Ribbon's like over 2.5 years old now, and it's like what I'm getting out of parenthood is still not the thing that I imagined before being a parent, of like having an older kid. Probably like I think a lot of men probably, certainly not trying to generalize for all men, but I think a lot of men probably when they think about wanting to be a parent don't think about holding a newborn baby that just needs to like breastfeed and sleep and cry all the time, right? Like you're thinking probably of like the relationships, the teaching, the like these other things that come later in life, and you actually have to like slog through literal years and years of like mundane tasks just like get to that point. So yeah, I think there's things that just are like emotionally heavy for me, and that already like makes me feel a degree of like I'm wrestling with my sense of purpose on a daily basis in
yep.
a way that was perhaps less true before, and I'm wrestling with a sense of like yeah, I there's already things I feel like I'm like fighting against on a day-to-day basis where I don't need a song telling me like singing the lyrics I'm useless or whatever. Like in my life right now to just like
Yeah.
I need something, I need a different message to help me get through a day to day, because not only like there's also a degree to which indulging those negative emotions is more detrimental to the people relying on me to be carrying a different attitude in my life too. So I think there's a lot of things going on here. I'm just like kind of rambling at this point, but
No, I love it.
I
I
think
love
what
I
I'm
love
trying to say is just that like this album, portions of it are not very emotionally resonant for me to me, and I do agree with you overall. Like I would say my assessment of the music and my enjoyment of the music is not like super hinging on that, but it is a variable that does end up coming into play.
totally get it. Yeah, and totally. I'm glad we went on that tangent, because that's, I don't know, interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can totally see how you just don't really have like room left to be like, oh yeah, let me indulge in this. Let me explore this emotion for a little bit. Uh, I totally get that, and what I obviously don't get is I don't have the personal experience of having a child, so you know,
Yeah, and I don't. I'm not trying to make a point that having the
yeah.
child will make you super depressed per se. I think
No,
everybody will
but
experience that journey in their own way. But and there's
yeah,
been plenty of positives for me too. But yeah, there's just things about it that are challenging in a way, and on my mental and emotional bandwidth of like, I need things to be like putting me in a good headspace to approach those situations with an energy and a optimism that's helping lift everyone else up, because if I'm coming in from the opposite standpoint, it's actively detrimental to all of our well-being on a kind of day-to-day basis. So
right. Like if I'm going on a walk after work, and Anna's coming home from work in 3 hours, and I'm like getting in my head and like really feeling this depressing music, and I'm like, whew, man, this is really making me introspective, and I'm like tearing up, and I'm coming back home, and I'm like, cool, I have like 3 hours to like
kind of sift through this, yeah.
recover and do whatever I need to do to like get back into a normal mental state. If you go on a walk and then you come back and then
Yeah,
you have to take care of your kids or whatever it may be, it's totally different. It's
yeah,
yeah. So I totally get it. Yeah, totally different. You know, life situations and headspaces, and music can, yeah, the lyrics can totally influence your enjoyment. I totally get that. So, but
yeah.
yeah,
Well, let's wrap the track list here. We have one more
yeah,
kind of
one more.
interlude one, so we're
Yeah,
basically all the way there. Where
we're
we're at
basically done. Yeah.
well, I don't know, I lost my track list here, but this one,
My
not a
dad told me to write a nice one for Nana, so this is
I
it.
was gonna say not a cringe name, but it is a difficult one to remember.
Yep, not a cringe name at all. This one actually like makes sense.
Yeah, yep.
Only one that makes sense. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think it's a really cute, pretty
Mhm.
acoustic song. Cute,
Yep.
maybe cute's not a good word. It's a really touching
Yeah.
song to commemorate his grandma's life and death.
Mhm.
It's very, this one feels very like just emotionally resonant. I feel like this one, no matter who you are, is just like emotionally resonant.
Yeah. And it's a
Um,
good tie off. It's sort of like let's make sure we end on the most important thing we touched on.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Um,
They're like, let's bring it back to the main topic. Yeah. We touched on, yeah, our own problems and some happier songs and some more self-deprecating songs. This is the thing we care about the most with this album,
yep.
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's effective. I mean, this
Mhm.
isn't necessarily like the best song musically ever, but it's just like super simple, and it's just the lead singer and his guitar, and that's
Mhm.
it. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and it fits the bill with the other, like every song that you could characterize as an interlude, which is like this one, this makes me yucky, this makes me yummy, and mill a minute. They're just all good. There's all
yeah,
good
they
versions of
all
what they
are.
are. They're all doing different things at different points in the album, so they're kind of tying different emotions and different musical energies together, and they all hit really well. Like kind of like going back to just to reference other album reviews for our hardcore fans who've listened to all the album reviews, but going back to Ghost City, the like there's like the first interlude in Ghost City that's I like quite a bit. I don't even remember the names of them at this point. Um, Wait, is it called
First,
Ghost? Is Ghost City the name of the album? Am I saying that wrong?
yeah, no, Ghost City's the
Oh,
name of
okay.
it.
Is one of them called? Oh no, Glass. I was gonna say, is one of them called Ghost? Glass. Isn't Glass the like later one? Glass is like
Glass is
pretty
the later one.
jarring. It's like after the like really happiest crescendo song of the album, and then suddenly they're like give you this melancholy like 3 minute instrumental. There's nothing like that where you're like, I just don't like. They all feel like they're really blending moments together, tying things together. The
They
emotions
seem
that they're
well
trying to
placed.
communicate are relevant to the moment in the album you're listening to them, and they do it really effectively. I don't really feel like I would call any one out of them as like the best or worst or whatever. Like they're just all good. I don't really skip any of them if I'm listening to the whole album. I also don't like listen to any of them as individual songs. Um, but yeah, this is another one, like you said, it's touching. It feels particularly like important to have been like, oh yeah, this like we had this pretty important thing towards the middle of the album where we were really acknowledging death and the grieving process, and we're gonna like end things there as well. And I feel like it just makes sense to do that, and obviously like the album name being the sound a body makes when it's still kind of tying to that as well. Like it feels like that's what they should have done, and they did it. So
Yeah, yeah, totally agree. Yeah, I don't think any of the interludes are skips. There are definitely interludes on albums that I'm just like, okay, I get what you were doing, but I'm skipping this every time.
yeah.
Like to me, like in between Fourth and Second Street on the Question.
Oh, I forgot that was even a song. We've been
It's
talking about
like
wanting to do that.
because you don't care about it at all. It's just like, okay, yeah, cool, you did
Jeez,
that.
I don't even know what that one. I don't
Interlude,
even like remember that one. Wow, I forgot that album had an
I just
interlude.
listened
Where
to the
even
Question
is
the
it?
other day.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah,
That's
just
funny.
like that. I guess it's just like there's certain albums that have random interludes. That's like, okay, I get you were trying to make a break, but like, I'm gonna skip that every time. It doesn't really do anything
Yeah.
for me. But
Mm-hmm.
the interludes on this one are actually effective transitions
Yep.
and nice breaks and nice acoustic guitar parts and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let me just hit some of the things I haven't talked about yet, and you feel free to jump in as you want to as well, because we've covered every song now, so we've talked about most of this. But yeah, dueling vocalists were really fun. They really additive on the album. I don't know why I didn't uncover that strength earlier, because we talked about it a number of times. But just to make it clear, I don't think it's again. I already said this, but just like now that we've talked about the whole album, I think a thing I would say is like I wouldn't consider the vocals necessarily like a super strength of the album. They're not like a weakness either. They're just not like, oh, these are like my favorite vocalists in the world. But they do work really well with the style of music, and having two of them go back and forth also really lends itself to like energetic, fast-paced stuff of like you can't just have one person unless you're like literally having them talk over themselves, like do as many of the fun, like fast-paced vocal deliveries that they do. And so I think having the dueling vocals, yeah, it's just really fun. Again, I think we both agreed, but like wish more bands were willing to do that kind of stuff because it's pretty sweet. Even when I would say, it's not like the most talented vocalist in the world or whatever. Like you could certainly some of the vocals could be better if you had like the best, like Matt McDonald or someone that I think of just quintessential, classic crime lead vocalist who could just hit soaring melodies and kind of do screams and kind of do it all. Like there's no one that I think is like that level of talent at just generically good vocals. Um, but like it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be the best vocalist ever to have it be really good vocal delivery, fit the music, and have it be really fun and dynamic that they can play off each other and do cool parts by having both sing back and forth and whatever. So yeah, important thing there. I see you highlighted. Yeah, guitar riff, solos, leads, fantastic. Yeah, that's a good call out actually. I think we didn't really like maybe draw as much of attention to that as it deserved. Now
We
that
didn't
I'm
draw a lot
reflecting,
of attention, but there's
there
some
are a
great
lot of really
parts
tasty
throughout.
guitar
Yeah,
parts. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think we called out like the little solo and
Oh, no, a
and
couple.
the and a big load. We called out that like sick breakdown, which is a sweet guitar part.
Mhm.
What are some of the other things that stand out? Let me look at the track list really
I mean,
quick.
lots of the opening riffs. There's a lot of good, just
Yeah,
like
it smells like Fudge Jackson here has a really cool opening riff in my
beginnings of
opinion.
songs.
Yeah.
Just have great hooky guitar
Yeah,
riffs.
and I would say Bon Jonah. I wouldn't say that's like an impressive guitar song, but it's just a really
It's just
satisfying
nice.
riff. Yeah,
Yeah.
really satisfying. Those are the main ones I would call out that we maybe didn't give adequate attention to the fact that the guitar work is really good. Yeah, song structure is varied, short explosive tracks. Yeah,
Yep.
intoxicating
Yeah,
catchiness. Yeah,
yeah, very catchy throughout. Lots of hooks, lots of things I get stuck in my head, despite them having weird song structures and lots of variation. And yeah, I love the vocals. Yeah, they're definitely not the best like technically or whatever, but I think they're great. That carry a lot of emotion, and there's
mm-hmm.
good amount of variation between the you got the two different vocalists, you got screams, you got
Yep.
layers of screams and cleans, you've got the like chorus and harmony vocals, and yeah, love all that.
Yeah.
Weaknesses I just called out. Songs are short. If you're digging apart, it's gonna change quick
Yeah.
for the most part. And I guess my second point is kind of going with the first, but some songs feel like ideas that could have been further explored and expanded upon. Like, I mean, Let Me See Your Mounts is like a perfect
Yeah,
example.
I think that's like the greatest
I feel
example of
like
one.
that,
Like it feels like it could have been more.
yeah, it just feels like they had an idea and then they wrote part of it and they were like, cool, that's the song. I guess, or they couldn't figure
ran out
out
of
where else
time
to
or
go
something.
with it,
Yeah, right.
or
It feels.
whatever.
And
Yeah, but it just feels like that wasn't fully fleshed out. They could have done something else with that, and I think there's probably a couple songs like that.
yeah, yeah. My weaknesses now that we've talked through the whole album, I'll just highlight these. And I think at the end of the day, I'll obviously we'll give our ratings. This is like an actively good album for me for sure. And hopefully, like I don't think anybody listening to this review would have thought otherwise. I think when I try to consider our album review scale, the ratings, not every album is like a album of the year candidate or like a true I will always or I will go back to this consistently or many times in the future type album. I think where I stand with this album
Oh
in this moment in time, and I think I decided in advance to stand firm around this, even though I was pretty sure we were gonna like be both excited about a lot of stuff on the album because like I did actively really enjoy listening to it, especially in the warmer weather walks that I did and stuff. And I had the same sentiment with Knocked Loose, and then I like bumped my review up a little bit. I like kind of decided to round up, and then what like my hesitations have ended up being true that like I think overlap here, which is just that like I just don't see how with my current listening routines of music, like I like to listen to music when I work out and run, that like gets me going and really like drives the energy. And I think there's like songs of this that could maybe like fit into there, but not every time, just like kind of depending on my mood. And if I truly want it to be like an adrenaline song or just something to like get me through 5 minutes of a run type song. But like this isn't music that I can have on in the background because of the screaming. Sort of like that's sort of a way in which I would say it's not like the music is worse than Reliant K, but like I can put Reliant K on in the
Yeah,
background and still enjoy listening to Reliant K. And this is music for me where it's gonna be harder to listen to at the end of the day. I would say it's the way I like ultimately phrase it in this last sentence is it's basically competing for a very narrow niche of music listening time for me, where it's not music I can just put on around the house when like my wife's there basically because she will hate it because of screaming. She just hates screaming, which is
yeah,
sad, but whatever. That's everyone has different taste. And then it's
yep.
also like I don't think it's gonna be front of the line in terms of what I queue up for myself to listen to when I work out or do that kind of thing. So I'm just gonna have to like pick it for walks. I obviously did that a ton when I'm doing this album review, but how much am I gonna come back to it for that? I think the answer is probably like it's competing with just all the random stuff that is in this category. Like literally, like Emery, a band we're talking about, kind of fits in here. It's like I don't listen to Emery to work out. I also can't put it on the background. There's lots of bands that fit in here, and it's sort of just like a pecking order of what do I randomly want to listen to. And I think it's just gonna make it hard to come back to. And then the other thing that like will also contribute to that is just I think ultimately there aren't any like absolute bangers. There's definitely highlights like Mix Master, Wade on the beat, Monokulu and Skibbity are probably like top two songs for me. And there's other ones that are I think like I will want to revisit. Like they get stuck in your head, but there's no like song of the year candidate. There's no like maple syrup or whatever. Which also maple syrup has the benefit of being a song I can like put on around the house too, and my like Kaylee likes it, kind of thing. Like I just think that's a thing that like helps me like sort of force me to come back. It's like I just that one song is so good that I want to listen to it, and then I want to listen to whatever else is on the album with that song. Like I don't quite think anything is in that threshold. So I think those are variables that sort of make it like it's an album with like really clear strengths. Really loved listening to it. All the times I listen to it, I think I'll listen to it more. But I think at the end of the day, for me, it's a 3 star. It's like a very good album, certain enjoyable elements, good tracks, some gaps. Like I don't. I don't know. This says like some degree of disappointment. Hard to say. 3 star. I don't. Maybe that's like a little bit of a harsh way to frame a 3 star. I in this moment, I'm sort of framing it as like a album I'm actively glad I listened to, and this is certainly closer to a 3.5 than like a 2.5. I would say it's definitely like in between 3 and 3.5.
Hmm.
Like I'm really glad I listened to it. I think I'll listen to more Hot Mulligan. Um, I just it doesn't have enough in this album to make me be like convince me that I'm going to be coming back here a ton. It doesn't set itself above a ton of other competition in this kind of category of album I've been describing. I think one of the things I'll just call this out too. Two more things I want to say. I know I'm kind of monologuing here, but I'm trying to be like, what were all the things I thought of that I wanted to say? I think a couple things that hold it back that might be less true later. I think I specifically said this was my thing I thought of right at the last moment. I've kind of predicted maybe you connect a little more with the emotions, the emotional points, the screaming in the album. For me,
That's
like
100% true.
the upbeat parts and the fun parts were like what I connected to for probably the exact reasons I was describing as I talked about like kind of the emotional wavelength I'm on right now. Like I wanted that
I'm
like Bon Jonah just like hit me with like a I smile from this song vibe right now. That's what I want in
yeah,
my life right now, and I think there's some of that on the album, but like I would say they definitely tend to skew in the other direction a little more heavily. And that's something that I figured like previous time frames in my life I would have connected more with that stuff, and right now and I feel like we've typically together connected more heavily with that stuff, but like right now in my life I'm like seeking other things, and
yeah,
a little less so that stuff. And the other thing I think I would say, um about just like I forgot to say this when I was making the point about like there aren't any like absolute bangers here. I'm not sure. It's hard to say like in the moment exactly how I'd like rank all the songs I know by Hot Mulligan. But what the way I would say it is I'm not convinced any song on this album is better than "And Eric Sparrow and the Life of Him." I think that's like
oh,
I
dude,
really liked that song when you sent me that one. Like that one is one I've like listened to
me,
from time to time. You know
me
when I
and
when I talk about this
yeah,
niche of like listening to this band, like I occasionally just like pick that song to listen to. I do really like it,
oh man,
and I know
I
you
don't,
like it a lot too.
I don't think anything on this album lives up to the hype that I had for Warmer Weather.
Yeah, okay. I was
Yeah,
kind of curious what you thought.
I
Yeah,
think still, yeah, like I will definitely go back to that three song EP more than this one.
yeah.
Uh,
And I think it's a little bit of like a disappointment to go into a new album from a band and be like, I know two songs by this band, and like End of Eric Sparrow and Life of Him I really liked, and Sticker Brian's I liked, and
yep.
then listen to the whole album, and be like, it's a good album, but like I think End of Eric Sparrow and Life of Him is like
Yeah.
probably still my favorite song by the band. It's like it's not like that means the album was bad or anything or like totally flat. Like obviously there was a lot I loved about it, but it's like a little bit disappointing. Like I just listened to 16 more songs by them, and none of them topped one of the two that I knew by the band before. So that was
Yep.
like a little bit of an aspect that I think was like a minor disappointment too. So all right, I know I just rambled at you for a while, but I was like, what were all the other things I wanted to say that I hadn't touched on
Yeah.
yet? And I wanted to get it all out there. So
No, yeah, no, I'm glad you did. Yeah, I'm a sad boy at heart. Not like actually depressed. I don't know. I just always have really connected with
I
the
historically have too, to be clear.
music that is that leaning that way,
Yeah,
and I think I always will. I don't know. I just
I connect with it. It's just like
uh,
a dangerous connection for me right now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. For me, like, I mean, I guess there's been times in my life when I've been in a depressive state, and then I will listen to depressive music that then makes me feel better because it's like someone else is depressed or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's ever been a time when I'm like feeling good and I listen to a depressing song and suddenly I'm depressed. Like
Mm.
I don't think, at least I can't think right now
Mm-hmm.
of a time that's happened for me. It's just like,
Yeah.
but for some reason I gravitate towards it. I don't know. Whatever. People are
Mm-hmm.
different. But I gave it 4 stars. However, oh man, I'm so on the fence. I was on the fence earlier today, and as we've talked, I'm more on the fence. And especially when you just brought up warmer weather, I'm like, man, it really was not as good as warmer weather. I was really between 3.5 and 4.
Yeah.
And thinking about warmer weather, I feel like I want to bump it down to 3.5 because that is a very good point of like based on there's no half star, so I'm just putting point 0.5.
Oh, I got your half star. Let me cue it up here.
Wait, I thought there wasn't a half star.
I found it for some other thing. Let me find it here. You keep
I thought it
going.
just like pasted as a square or something.
I
Whatever.
think I found one at
Anyways,
some point.
okay, cool. Yeah. So I'm going with 3.5. I know I had 4 on there, but I've been back and forth today. I was listening to it today again, and I was like really feeling it. And I was like, yeah, it's a 4. But then as we talked today, I was already like, maybe it's 3.5. And then the comment about warmer weather really like I was so hyped because I heard Equip Sunglasses, which were one of their older songs, very fun song, pretty simple. Heard some of their other stuff. I was like, oh, this is kind of a fun band. And then Warmer Weather came out, and I was like, dude, this band is up to something.
Yeah.
And I don't think this album lived up to how good Warmer Weather was as an EP. And it is like stylistically a little bit different than Warmer
Mm-hmm.
Weather.
Yeah.
Warmer Weather was definitely like heavier
Yeah.
overall. Um, but I just don't think it lived up in quality either. However, I still love this album, and definitely
Yeah,
like
it's a really good album. I'm really glad I listened to it. Like I think for me, Hot Mulligan's a band I want to like listen to more, whether it's like doing another album review as like a reason to deep dive or just eventually wanting to listen to more. Like I'm really glad that I took the time to do like 15 listens to the album and feel like I really know what they were about on this album. I know how they do things. If whether I go back in their discography or like wait till the next one comes out or whatever, like I'm definitely gonna want to listen to it. It's kind of like another version of how I was feeling with Delta Delta Sleep, where I'm like I'm very confident I wanna listen to more.
yeah,
I just
I'm glad you enjoyed it as much as you did. I honestly wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how much you were gonna get into it, so I'm glad that you got into what you did. And yeah, some great discussion. And yeah, I
yeah.
definitely like this band. I'm very interested in what they're gonna do in the future. I can't necessarily like strongly recommend their older stuff. There's some good stuff there, but like especially after listening to Warmer Weather and this, everything before this feels like it's on a like lower tier.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting.
I don't think that means it's not worth listening to at all, but just I guess keep your expectations low if you if
Okay.
you do listen to it. It just feels like a less mature, less interesting, less refined version of what you're getting now.
Okay.
Um,
Man, what's crazy is that on Warmer Weather and Eric Sparrow, The Life of Him has the least plays. Is that your favorite song on that EP?
that oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I
Place.
like Stickers of Brian. I'm shocked. It
Well,
has 4
Stickers O'Brien
million,
came out first,
right?
so
Which I didn't realize at the time. Yeah, but I'm
that
shocked that it
blends.
has 4 million more plays than End Eric Sparrow. Like, it
That's
has
crazy.
10 million. It has 10.2, and End Eric Sparrow has 6.6. So that's 3.5
Wow.
million more. But it's crazy. I, I
The other song's great too. They're all
Okay, yeah,
three.
I never listened to Fly Move, but
Oh
it
man,
has 6.7, so it's even
yeah.
more than
I
End
think
Eric
Fly Move
Sparrow's.
has some pretty depressing lyrics though.
Okay, it's not like I'm like totally opposed. It's not like I like can't handle depressing lyrics. It's more just
No,
like the more I'm just battering it, in my head. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to like exactly put into words.
totally get
It's
it.
sort of just like I have a lot of responsibility in life, and I think there's a degree to which when you indulge depressive and like introspection like to that level, it's like it's not going to make you like a more helpful or reliable person for a family structure that's relying on you to like carry a tremendous amount of weight day to day. And I like that's the type of thing I'm doing right now, so I like kind of need an energy. It's like I would say not just from music. Like the music is I'm using it as a scapegoat in this conversation in the sense that we're talking for 2 hours about music, but like from all various things in my life right now, whether it's friendships, music, movies, TV, my job, like literally any source, anything where I have control. It's like I'm looking for like things that will build me up and give me positive momentum to carry into my responsibilities and my
Yeah,
family work right now. So yeah, like a little bit of like, oh, this is reflective in a way that is questioning your choices or your things like that. It's like not inherently bad, but like I would say the degree to which they went in that direction in this album had its moments for me where I was like, this is not a like wavelength I need to be diving into right now. But we already
yep,
went down that whole
yep,
rabbit hole, so
yep.
yeah.
No, yeah, totally get it.
Well, you haven't listened to any Every Kingdom yet, right? That Ben Howard. You said you hadn't.
I
Yeah.
have not yet, but I will begin.
Well,
Right. Yeah.
it's gonna be a big I would say one of the things that put it high on my radar to give the most I would say minor degree of foreshadowing to tell you anything meaningful about the album, but that's not really going to reveal too much about what it's about. It's a very good vibes album overall. It's like it's just
Okay.
his like the lyrical themes and the what he set the music he set to them. Like I would say it was an album that like when we were doing some of those Magic tournaments over the last couple of years, uh, I mean now it's been over a year or whatever, but like when we were doing the post Riven being born and life being feeling challenging for me and kind of being like, oh, I'm doing this like these Magic tournaments with Paul. It's like a fun way to still stay connected to that part of my identity, get good friend time, but also I want to try to make sure I'm not getting like too down from losing or whatever. Which never been that good at that. But this was an album I would like play when I would like I specifically remember listening to it a lot at like the Great Oaks like when I would like the round would end at Great Oaks
Oh,
Tavern, and I
nice.
would walk down that one street or whatever, and I'd be listening to
Yep.
songs off this album. It's just like a trying to stay connected with like positive mentality, positivity.
Love that.
So it's going to be, I guess, a little bit
Yeah.
of a emotional, well,
Yeah.
certainly stylistic as well,
Nice.
but particular, but like
Yeah.
talking specifically right now about the lyrics and emotions, it's a little bit of
No, that'll be a change of pace
a change of
in
pace, which is nice. Yeah.
sounds great. Yeah.
So
Dude, just talking about lyrics so much. I know it's late and
that's
we
okay.
need, but just one more thing real quick. Uh yeah, I'm very excited to listen to Ben Howard, and especially after hearing you talk about it. And I think I mentioned in a text Streetlight Manifesto.
Yep, you did.
That is my new top priority for my next choice. Wherever it lands, but it's just like it's been years since I first got into it, so that's why I didn't think of it instantly. But man, I was listening to it again recently, and talk about good lyrics, not depressing, just like meaningful, sometimes uplifting, sometimes just like meaningful. I don't know. They're very good lyrics too, and a very different style of music. I don't know if you know anything about this band, but
I think there just one song you caught that I put on like one of my playlists or something. Like I think I randomly got one of their songs
maybe.
on like a Discover Weekly or something at some point, and
Oh,
maybe it's a different band. What do they have?
Streetlight Manifesto. They're ska, so it's like horns.
Okay, I feel like I've listened to something by this band. I just don't remember what it was.
I don't know. Well, regardless, that's future, but
Yeah.
that's my new top priority because just listening back to that album, I'm like, I want David to hear this. I don't know how much you'll like it, but I want you to hear it regardless. So.
Yeah, no, I want to listen to it. Oh, I really thought I had like one song I randomly. I think this is. I don't have anything. This band name is like too familiar to me. I swear I have something like one song I got on like a Discover or something by this band and put it on a playlist, and then like you overheard it, but maybe I'm conflating this band with another band.
Could be something else.
Yeah. But I recognize the name enough that we've definitely talked about them before, so I'm excited. And I've never listened to anything that would really in depth that would be labeled ska. But
I don't either. This is the only band.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm like the idea of ska sounds like something I would like, so I feel like I should explore it.
This band's cool.
Is there? I forget. Did you pick an album to put in our queue?
I didn't actually put one in there yet,
Okay.
but I will. I know which album.
Yeah, I remember you asking, like, texting me and being like, "What do you think between?"
I've decided.
Okay.
I'm not doing it in chronological order.
Okay.
There's one specifically that I want that I just think is the best choice. So. Yeah. All right. Well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's call it there. Yeah. Let me end the stream. Thanks for anyone tuning in and listening. That was our very in-depth discussion. Famous last words. I'll share with the viewers now so I can, eat my words. But before this review, I was like, oh, we talked for like 2 hours about Falling Up. I don't think we'll talk for 2 hours about Hot Mulligan. Well, it's been 2.5 hours. So, we're just going longer and longer, apparently. When will we hit 3 hours?
We went on some tangents.
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, it is 16 songs. I said that, and then I was like, I don't know, maybe that was a stupid thing to say, because this album is definitely pretty complex, and there's a lot of songs. That in the picture. But thanks for anyone tuning in and listening. Tons of fun talking music with you, so I can't wait till next time already. It'll be Every Kingdom by Ben Howard next time. Pretty different. Not 16 songs, only 10, I think. So might be actually a little shorter, but we'll see. Don't count on it.